wounds.
Okay. I apparently did
Unless I
not get damaged unless I didn't record it correctly.
Yeah,
Let me look.
didn't take any damage.
No, I think Sally was heavily wounded.
Yeah, Sally got munched on, if I recall correctly. Like he had taken damage from falling off the roof.
Yeah, and then there were the zombies.
Yeah, and then the zombies
I healed back from the roof thing because that was a few days, but the zombie got me. I thought
Yeah, you only have, I think, like 2 hit points or something like that.
I have I've taken 6 according to this, unless I didn't put it in right.
Okay. Anyway, we shall start. Talabheim has a lot of problems, let's be honest. Not only is there a plague, not only are there Skaven running through the streets, at least in some parts of the city. Now, there are also the walking dead. You've managed to help a couple that were attacked by 3 zombies. Who, well, you never saw a zombie before, but this were really strange. They were like sewn together, you know. They were like artistic zombies, so to speak. One had a line of jiggly fingers running through whole of its body. The other had eyes in its hands. They were really strange, really bizarre, and just as the fight has ended, and you were gathering your bearings, suddenly you've heard that all around you, in nearby streets, there are sounds of moaning, people screaming and so on. There was also a herald who came running and informed you about a lot of zombies on the Knoll of Doctrines. And from what I understood last time, you were actually making your way towards this very place, which you can actually see on the map. It's number 29, I believe. Number 31. I'm sorry, number 31. It's in the Tau Garden, next to the God's Row.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it. So, you're making your way up there with all haste, and you can hear screams and the muffled sounds of battle once you make it to the edge of the Tau Garden. The scene that greets your eyes as you clear the trees of the garden and look upon the Knoll of Doctrines is one of anarchy. Varied zombies, no two alike, wander over the brightly lit hill, attacking and being attacked in turn by a myriad of individuals in priestly form. There, a priest wearing the twin-tailed comet of Sigmar smashes a warhammer down onto an outstretched leg, dropping a 4-armed zombie to the ground. Here, a trio of initiates bearing Tau's insignia are being driven back by an undead monstrosity formed from 2 legless torsos, stitched together at the waist. A squad of bulldogs hack a zombie to pieces, even as one of their fellows is being torn limb from limb. As you reach the foot of the hill, a young man clad in somber black robes walks over the rise of the knoll. Even from a distance in the dark, you can see by the gleaming blue of his sapphire-colored eyes. He wanders down the mount, absent-mindedly touching zombies as he passes. Each silently falls to dust in his wake. So, what are your actions? I presume just to charge and hack as many of them as possible.
I say we should get into formation. Why didn't you say, Lucas?
Yeah.
By the way, check the handout section. I've included the scene. It's called Zombie Fight. You can see it. You can see how. You can basically see how it looks.
He's getting tossed. All right. So the guy on the hill is also slaying zombies. Correct.
Yeah. Well, he's not so much slaying as he simply walks. Right next to them, touches them with his fingers, and the zombies are falling to dust.
I may know who that is?
You have a very good idea who that is.
Okay.
Sounds like we want to get behind that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, as you prepare to move into combat, and actually as you as you charge the nearest zombie and begin to attack it with in unison, basically the battle is almost already over. The defenders triumphed, and most of the zombies lie hacked to pieces, smashed, pulped, or just turned to dust by the individual on top of the hill. All of you managed to slay a few of the monstrosities. The monsters are outnumbered, so usually it's like 3 humans versus 1 zombie, sometimes maybe even more. But in a matter of seconds, not even minutes, seconds, the battle is over. Basically, you won. Of course, there is a round of cheers when the last of the undead falls, and you have time to take stock of the situation. You can also see that the young man, who is very clearly a priest of Mor, is walking towards you, and the other priests and soldiers and bulldogs are instinctively, going out of his way, like avoiding him, so to speak. Declarations, fellows, please.
Well, as the figure who, as he's approaching, I want to do the Morian salute, just the hand in front of the face.
All right. Even if he sees it, and probably he does, because you see that his blue sapphire eyes are watching every single one of you, he doesn't react. The rest of you guys, are you doing anything? Or are you standing with Vincent here?
Probably just standing around, I think.
Alright.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on, so...
Yes, exactly. Same here. I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, the Vincent, you know who that is. You know who's the young man, who's no older, surely, than 15 summers. This, in fact, is Paul von Solek, the greatest living member of the Augurs of Mor in all the old world. He silently fixes you with his unblinking gaze and abruptly states, "This is nothing. A display. A distraction. The true test will come soon enough. Run when you must. Fight when you can. These bodies are marked." And he points his fingers towards, the deadish zombies on the ground. "A proud sigil. An artist's mark. She takes Van Hell's dance too literally, I think. Though she, in turn, dances for Steel Eye. Perhaps we all will." And then he turns and walks away.
Jesus.
Should,
This is the guy you've been looking for?
I guess so.
How do you spell his name?
Paul von Solek. I'm going to actually write it. Wait a second.
Should we do any kind of knowledge check to see if we recognize?
You know this guy, Vincent?
I know of him. Never met him before.
What a guy!
It's the guy I've been wanting to speak to about the dream I had of Talagad.
Yeah, you can see that he already, reaches the top of the knoll, and shortly after disappears. Each one of you thinks that for some reason it's a very bad idea to follow him, because he quite clearly gives you the creeps. There's something very unnatural about this boy, and although he is a priest of the god of death and dreams, it doesn't mean that he's no less creepy for that. You see that the zombies on the knoll are similar in all respects to the undead that your characters fought earlier. All around you, the other combatants, well, of course they are celebrating their victory, but there's not much like jubilant talk. Although one of the bulldogs do mention that there have been zombies spotted throughout Talabheim. The infestation now this. It's as if Tal has abandoned us, he speaks. And another bulldog states that, oh, at least we have an idea where all those bodies have been going, eh? Something like that. But other than that, the soldiers and priests are already making their way back.
I try to engage one of the soldiers or somebody. Say like, where did these guys all come from? Did you see which way they came from?
Well, good sir, actually, no, we don't. But it seems that the biggest concentration of these fiends is in the north and in the east. It's like they've suddenly appeared, they've suddenly appeared.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Paul von Solik, he mentioned a name, whoever did this took somebody's work too seriously. What was it, a Karstein or something like that?
He used the name Van Hel.
Van Hel. Can we would we know that or test for a knowledge check or somebody to see if that's...
You have knowledge necromancy plus 10 at least?
No.
Then you don't know who Van Hel is.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a noble of Talabheim or something like that.
Although you see that the zombies here have the exact same like mark on their legs. You remember what I told, what I've told earlier about this in our last session.
Is that something we can look into records and try to... Is it like a crest, like a family seal or something that we might be able to find in a directory?
Well, you don't really know, and who do you like to speak to this thing? Who would you like to speak to about this? Because clearly this is like a form of maybe not crest, but it reminds you of a signature of sorts. By the way, you are almost alone on the hill. A couple of dog faces, of course, remain behind and begin to pack the zombies onto small carts and have them later probably burnt.
I'm kind of looking over the body, feeling morbid.
Okay, which body? Anybody?
Just like I'm clearly thinking Gennaro is still out there.
Well, you don't see his features on any of these monstrosities, even though many of them have their faces changed. You, for example, see one zombie which has a theater mask grafted in place of his face, and another one has half of his face is made from porcelain, something like that. Like I've said before, these zombies are disturbing, but it's been clear that someone has been working with with a sort of twisted passion on them, with a sort of artistry. So yeah, you don't see Paul van Solik anymore. Of course, he's gone.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. We're near the Law District. What do you think about trying to go to the Law District and see if we can find a place where they have records or
Remember that it's night already.
Yeah,
I can't imagine anybody's putting their own some identifiable mark on them. That's a good way to get the witch hunters after you.
Well, nobody said
Unless they think
cultists
they're
were super
immune.
bright. Cultists are not exactly playing with a full deck, right?
Or if it's just one person, they may just think that they are invincible and could.
Yeah, I mean, if they're an artist, maybe they're making a statement,
Yeah.
There you go.
So, are you guys coming back to the good doctor, or are you trying to actually find who's behind this?
Well, Lucas, you're leading the patrol. I can't remember what the dog faces said as far as if we're supposed to meet back or anything like that, but
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, you were Lance Corporal or whatever you were promoted last time, though, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you guys think that running around at night down here is not the best thing to do, then we might as well just go back to Dobbler's and we can think about what our next move is if it's too late at night to do stuff.
yeah, because the bodies were stolen, so I don't think it would make any sense to go to the graveyard because obviously the bodies were taken from there. So it's as far as trying to investigate further, I'm not really sure where to start.
Yeah, yeah, I guess we need to finish our shift and whatever that would occur and then just go back.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only reason I wasn't paying attention to what time of day it was. I just figured since we were near the law district that there might be records of house symbols or some sort of thing that we could try to research to figure out the meaning of these symbols that we're seeing. But probably now is not the time to do it.
Well, you guys know that probably you could, like, check one of the many, many was the word, registries in the Law District, or the Law
Right.
Quarter, actually, as it is known, to try and find this, but it's not going to be easy.
You know what might be a better idea?
Yes.
Is to check the artist quarter, or whatever the artsy city of town is.
Guild Row?
Yeah, wherever the artists have their galleries and stuff. Because it sounds like it's more of an artist's signature than a like a crest or something, right?
So it's a rune that looks like a G. Is that what it was?
The guild rose in the opposite direction of where the zombies are coming from, though.
I mean, either. Well, but that doesn't mean that the person isn't an artist who has shown things and then lives somewhere else.
Though the Garden of Moor is to the northeast. But I would think if they're missing bodies, they would realize that they're not coming from there. I think they'd keep track of that stuff.
Well, like I said, I think we need to finish the shift, probably go back for the night, and then on our next off day we can investigate. Or the next time our patrol puts us near a place where we can investigate. We need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, you probably return to your house. I presume. Because, like I said, it's really late and you guys are tired. Not to mention, Sally is wounded.
And we're done with our patrol for the evening.
Yeah, I mean, you can... of course, before that, you return to your superior officer. If I remember correctly, Lieutenant Konarski, was it?
Kopinski.
Kopinski.
Corporal Kopinski.
Sorry, Corporal Kopinski.
Well, I think he got promoted too.
Yeah, because
Right.
many of the officers, were
Yes.
KIA. In
Right.
the action.
Battlefield promotion.
Yeah, exactly. In action against the Skaven, who do not exist. I would like to remind you. So yes, you meet Corporal Kopinski in front of the watch house from which he operates. You can see that the man is lightly wounded. There are scratches on his face and arms. Oh, I'm glad to see you boys in one piece. You took your part in battle on the knoll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of my men told me that they saw you.
Of course.
I thank you for your
Yes,
service. In fact, you can take the next day off.
There you
Thank
go.
you, sir.
Yes. Those damn zombies, they are appearing all over the city. Do me a favor, return to your house and try not to go outside after dark. I will actually have to lead another few parties to try and cleanse some parts of the Dragon's Home and the Low District. Anyway, I'll be with you. Off you go. The day after that, I'll see you all at 6 a.m. here, as usual.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
At ease. Oh, sorry, dismissed. Yeah. And with that,
yeah.
you make your way back to the apothecary's house. You can actually hear, as you are walking back home, you can actually hear many sounds, strange sounds from all over the city. Now it's not only Skaven, it's also the undead. Oh yeah. Yeah.
When it rains, it pours. So as we're walking back, a chat with the guys is like, didn't we feel like Lieutenant or Corporal or whatever he is, Kopinski, wasn't there something strange about him the last time? Didn't we think he was hiding something or something was going on?
I don't remember that.
Well,
Yeah,
he
when we saw the gunfire in the sewer, all the Skaven that were killed by gunfire.
Yeah, he seemed nervous or something.
But also something about, because he was saying something about having to go home to his wife, and I remember we thought that seemed to send up red flags for us. I don't remember specifically why, but there was something about him having to go home and being very cagey about his wife at home.
Well, maybe you are thinking that it's the same case as with the captain, Captain Nearhouse.
Yeah.
I think that some of you might have said that. Anyway, you've made your way back to the apothecary's house. Ulfas Daubler. He greets you, and of course he's terrified to see your injuries, especially Sally's. He quickly goes to work. Sally, how much HP do you have?
I've taken 6. I have 7 left.
7 left. All right. So you've got 10 right now because he managed to patch you up a bit.
Okay.
I've heard about those Walking Dead. They are attacking people all over the city. I think I'm going to barricade the windows and door for the night just to be sure. I swear to Tao, if it's not one thing, then it's another. It looks like the gods have forsaken us. Of course, I don't mean that, but let's be honest, friends. Talabheim faces, I think, its darkest hour in history. It's even worse than during the wars of the vampire counts and the age of the Free Emperors. Anyway. Yes?
Mr. Dobler, have you ever come across a symbol like this and want to kind of describe or sketch the symbol on a piece of paper? We noticed these were on all the zombies, at least somewhere.
I don't know of any such artist's mark, but I do know there is supposed to be a registry somewhere in the city's books Finding it may be a struggle worse than facing the undead though, lads, so if you plan on doing that, then good luck. But if you do want to do this, then you need to go to the low district.
And the name that Paul von Sulik said, what was that name?
Van Hel.
Von Hell? Does that ring a bell?
Actually, I don't know if Dauber has any stat. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's see.
Cracking into my bottle of fine quality wine and stuffing my pipe with Arab Black right now.
All right. No, I've never heard of such a name. I don't know who that might be. I've never heard of any prominent Talabheim citizen bearing the name Van Hel. But you could probably find it in the low district as well. I think that this symbol, you should probably go to the central registry at the heart of the district. It's located across from the courtyard that houses the obelisk of laws. Just remember that it can be hard for people who are not accustomed to the law stuff, you know. Waiting in lines, then having to get all of the necessary papers, stuff like that.
Well, I imagine the lines are going to be less long due to recent events. I think people might have other priorities going on.
I wouldn't dream about that, Vincent. It's still the city of law. You know, there are always people in lines in the law district. But of course, I may be wrong.
You don't need to be shorter for people on official business.
Maybe there's a line where if you're short, you get to go to a short line.
Leopold looks longingly at Sally and his stuff and thinks about all the stuff that he left behind.
Is there a top floor with a view here?
If you look at the Dauber's house, which I remind you is in the handout section, then you will see that I think there is oh yeah, here it is. Dauber's shop.
Yeah, that's it.
It looks like it's just single story.
Yeah, there's not.
Ranch style.
Something like that.
But we're no strangers to the roofs, so...
Is there a hatch going to the roof or something?
Yeah, let's say there is. There is.
Yeah, I want to sit on the roof and look out where Gennaro went down and drink my wine and smoke my pipe.
All right.
I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Actually, you are all pretty hungry, honestly. Fortunately, Dauber did make you some supper, which is now cold, but still, it's better than nothing. The man, of course, uses a lot of herbs in his cooking, and since he's an apothecary, he eats rather healthy for an old warder. So, you know, less fried stuff, more boiled stuff. And he's also pretty decent in kitchen. So, yeah, you've grabbed a quick bitey, and those of you who wanted to go to bed, go to bed. Those of you who want to go all emo and sit on the roof, thinking about your lost friend or love interest, depends, can do that. Of course, Sally, you don't see the spot where Gennaro fell, because this roof is pretty is pretty low, and there are so many buildings around you that you actually don't even see the street that goes towards the street where Gennaro fell. But I get the general idea. You drink your wine, you smoke your pipe, you reminisce, right?
Yeah.
About better times, simpler times, where there were no undead and zombie and Skaven on the streets. Yes, these were better times. But sooner or later, you also had to go back to bed to rest.
I'm gonna finish the bottle though, so I come stumbling to bed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, wines in the old world, generally are not really strong, especially Tylean wines. So you're not stinking drunk, but of course, you are a little bit tipsy. You dream about Gennaro. Leopold dreams about hunting a vampire, who in his dreams begins hunting him. Lucas dreams about the forest, and Vincent, you dream about raven.
Having armor.
about a big black raven with sapphire blue eyes. And this raven, he gives you strange messages. In your dream you see an obsidian needle falling to the ground, crumbling to dust. And you see a giant furred monstrosity rearing its head above the walls of the crater. Its beady red eyes fixing you with their malevolent stare. And then you wake up! Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh! All right. What time is it? Still dark?
Yeah, it's actually a few hours before dawn. You are soaked with your own sweat, and of course, as you woke up the rest of the guys, because that scream, which I'm sorry for, by the way.
Okay.
You really did scream like that. So the rest of you are actually awoken by this. By Vincent's horrible scream.
Ooh.
But then you go back to sleep. Okay. I was actually hoping, for something like, Vincent, shut up, let us sleep. The next day, you woke up a bit late than usual. It's normal. You are all really tired, and you are actually, well, I don't know if grateful to Kopinski for giving you a day off, but you really did need this day off. Outside you can see that it's snowing lightly, although very lightly. Usual stuff. I presume you get dressed. Oh, by the way, Daubler insists that if you want to stay at his house, you need to regularly take baths, because it's about hygiene.
That's
no
fine.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like regularly, as in once a month.
Once a day at least.
It's like my birthday every day.
Yeah. And he prepared you a fine meal of scrambled eggs, bacon, and strong herbal drink. Daubler is not much of a drinker when it comes to alcohol, so he usually, prefers to drink some strong herbal stuff, or simply clear water with honey and some spices. But of course, he doesn't scoff when you want to drink something. You also note that you are probably very lucky to stay at his house, because a meal like that right now in Talabheim is a luxury. Seriously, there's even white bread on the table, so wow. You are finishing your meal. Excellent that it is. What's your plans for this very fine, overcast, snowy day, full of zombies?
Oh, it's snowing.
Daubler wanted to board up some windows, right?
Well, he was thinking about it. Yeah.
I'll help him do that for maybe 2 hours or something.
All right.
Just to earn my keep.
I'd like to beat it to the law district to try to look up this symbol in the registry.
All right.
I don't know if anybody else wants to do that, or I'll just do it by myself if necessary.
Oh, I'll go if we're not all going together.
Yeah, I'll stick around and help board things up too.
Yeah, I can read and write, so that would
Yeah, that's
help
what
the law district.
That's what I figure. Is I'm illiterate, so I'm
okay.
there anyway.
All right.
Okay.
So Sally,
You're not into those voice papers.
Sally and Leopold, you are staying, and Sally and Lucas, you are staying and helping Dabbler board the windows and secure the doors. Of course, you're not boarding the doors because you wouldn't be able to leave the house. You are simply making them sturdier. Dabbler even thinks about boarding up the roof, but Sally won't be able to, go out there and mop about his lost friend. So that's probably not a very good idea. And besides, you don't think that zombies can climb. It takes you like a good 3 hours because none of you is a carpenter by trade, and first you had to buy some nails in a nearby shop, then go to another shop to acquire more boards. Because Dabbler, as an apothecary, doesn't exactly have a timber behind his house, like timber log. Leopold and Vincent, you are making your way through the streets of the city.
So we have to go through the merchant district. That's been taken over?
Parts of merchant district have been taken over. Yes.
Okay, so we're kind of going around to the law district.
Yeah, and. Like I said before, most of the people on the streets. Well, there are not that many people on the streets. First of all, secondly, those who are, some of them show clear signs of the grey og. There are many soldiers and bulldogs, as well, but they are looking dead tired. They are basically, dead on their feet, and some of them also, cough rather heavily. You soon understand that you are probably like some of the last really healthy humans in Talabheim, which is quite a depressing thought, really. Anyway, you enter the Low District, and well, it resembles nothing so much as a somber beehive. Darkly clad barristers, judges, and clerks bustle to and fro. The most influential trailed by trains of liveried runners who occasionally peel away to run off on an appointed errand. Solid grey buildings, formed from huge blocks of granite carved from the Talbaston, loom over you. The Low District was designed and built to make men feel small and insignificant before the power of the law, and you have to agree the architects were spot on. I presume you ask around, to get directed to the central registry, which is in fact located across from the courtyard that houses the Great Obelisk of Laws, which I've also included in the handout section much earlier, so you can check it out. Basically, the central registry consists of a very large office, in which a pale little man sits behind a massive desk. A line of some 30 persons long stands in front of the men's desks, and as you look about, you immediately notice the majority of those in line are street urchins. And as you are digesting this, a couple of youngsters walk up to them. "Morning, sirs! Fine day! Oh, dear place for a pence each we will." They are typical children of the streets. And I hope that you understood what I just said.
They want to oil our what?
Oh this is disgusting. Oh dear place for a pence each we will. They will hold your place for a penny each.
Well, I don't have any money, first off.
Well, I have an idea. Is there a small boy holding a place quite a bit up in front of the line?
Yeah.
We might be able to hire his place from whoever he was holding it for.
Honestly, since this is such a law-abiding place, I think that's a terrible idea, but that's just me. I would just say, sorry, boys, we don't have any money. We're on.
we don't have
I
anything
should-
else to do, to be honest.
I should point out that maybe going there where you know you're going to be charged fees without any money probably wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, well, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it, I guess. I mean, yeah, I have absolutely nothing at this point,
I
except
have
the clothes on my back.
I grabbed my bag, so I have my
Mhm.
my 10 gold or whatever.
Oh,
Not
okay.
a lot,
So
but I have.
you're-
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I have 10 shillings. Okay.
Yeah, so I would just say that.
That's enough.
Yeah, it's enough. Yeah, no, I just have essentially the clothes on my back and the weapons in my hands, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, my Neden, if you want to like wait in line yourselves, it will take like 5 hours or so. To my eye, says the oldest of them. Eyeing the line.
Do you know of a way to shorten
San
that
Jose.
line for us?
No.
No.
I mean, there's no way, we have a code of honor, you see. We never change people for whom we take lines. So even if like Uli, who's up front there, you see, he wouldn't drop his line in order to wait for you.
Well, how much are you asking for?
Well, like I said,
As you can tell, there we don't have much on us.
well, it's only a penny per person, sir. A single copper penny.
Well, I can do that. I look over to Leopold and so we'll just come back in 5 hours, roughly 5 hours.
Something like that, yes. Maybe 4.
All right. I kind of look over to Leopold. What do you think?
Well,
Mm.
I've got nothing but time, but if you want to pay for them to stand in line for us while we do something else, that's fine.
Well, what else is there that we can do? Is there anything we could do? Is there any lead we can investigate, or apparently Paul von Solik probably recognized that symbol, so maybe I can run up to the Temple of Moor and see if they have any records.
Yeah, we could go up there and look for him together if you want. I just figure
Not necessarily him, but just the Temple of Moor probably has registries and people to look out for and bad guys, and who knows, they should have something.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you got money to pay for them to hold our place in line, let's go do that as a backup. Yeah, go
Okay.
to the Temple of Moor.
All right, well, I'll give the youngin 2 pence. Just recorded that, and then I'll tell him I'll be back in about 3.5 hours.
Very well,
3
my
to 3.5
Neden.
hours.
We shall take place for you here.
Oh, thank you very much.
And
Then
you see that he directs 2 of his younger, probably chargers, to just wait for both of you in the line, which is
Sure.
really long, and apparently it also takes quite some time for the short, pale man to resolve everyone's issues. So after that,
Okay.
after that, we're going to make our way to the Temple of Moor, and I'm going to kind of inquire on if they have any records of
Van Hel.
yeah, Von Hell, or I'm trying to think of anything along those lines. Necromancy, zombies. if they have a book of foul play, or people who have been caught doing ungodly things, that type of stuff.
All right. So you make your way towards the Temple of Moor. Meanwhile, Lucas and Sally, are you going to do anything else except boarding windows? Because you've already did that. Do you have any other plans, or are you just sitting there, minding your own business.
I'd like to go to the ramparts where we left Gennaro to see if he's still there, and it's daytime, so it's probably the best time to go if I'm going to do it. I'm not sure I would ask Lucas to come with me necessarily.
Yeah, no, I'd come with you. That'd be fine.
Right.
It'd be something to do. Because the only other thing I can think to do is, like I said, go to the artist section of town and just ask around. But honestly, that's probably something I don't want to go do by myself. So simply because,
Yeah, we could do both depending on where Gennaro went down. I don't remember where it was exactly. It was kind of chaotic.
I thought it was still
right
in the merchant district because we're like sort of on the edge of Dragon's Home, Walled Norgate right now. I think where Daubler is.
Down, like right outside a barricade. So, assuming we haven't lost any ground to the Skaven, we should be able to go back.
Boys, you don't have telepathic communication with each other.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think at this point they were just reminding us of things we already knew.
Yeah, I know, but I'm basically trying to like minimize such things.
Sounds good. You got it. Sorry.
Yeah, but basically, Sally, you don't really remember when General fell. It was it was frantic, it was desperate. You were running for your lives. There were defenders shooting at you with bows and handguns. You simply won't be able to retrace that, and even if you would, it's on the other side of the safe zone, basically. Not to mention, remember one thing: it's very dangerous to walk through the streets right now because of the zombies. Even in broad daylight, it's overcast, but you can sometimes still hear screams of sudden screams of people and sounds of fighting from basically all over the town. So just to remind you, it's not safe on the streets.
Well, if I don't even know where I'm going, I'll just stay put, I guess.
All right. You as well, Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, he and I should probably see if Dollar has anything else around the house he needs done.
Well, you can do some of his chores, but it's not like he wants to, it's not like he wants to use you too much,
No, I know, but he's given us room and board. We ought, if we don't have anything else to do, we might as well do stuff for him.
So in that case, you can
chop wood, or
exactly,
sweep or whatever.
You sweep floors, you chop wood. Sally, you know how to cook, so he basically allows you to use his kitchen whenever you want, and and just if you want, of course, it's not it's not like he tells you cook for me, slave. It's not like that.
I'll get dinner started for everybody, like with whatever he has.
Well, he has quite a lot of foodstuffs in his house. It actually reminds you of Naun and the safe house of Nihilus, where there were just barrels of preserved, dried or smoked foods. And by the way, Daubler even has a small garden at the back of his house, so a lot of vegetables and fruits he simply grows himself. He also, a little bit morosely, but tells you that he used to buy a lot of herbs from Wiedenhoft when he was still alive. Apparently the two men were friends. So there are a lot of herbs here, and many of them are edible. His house is basically a cook's dream come true, especially if you want to eat healthy.
I'll make some kind of meat pot pie or something.
All right, no problem.
Like a big one for everybody.
He also has a pretty huge oven, not Owen Wilson. So meanwhile, Vincent and Leopold, you are making your way to the Temple of Mor. It's nasty outside. I mean, it's cold and it's damp. So you are like covering yourselves with your warm clothing as best as you can, but even so, the cold seems to seep into your bones. It's not nice. You eventually enter the God's Roll, and you stand before the temple of the Raven God, which I would like to remind you is number 22 on the map. It's rather close to the Low District, in fact. Oh, by the way, you had to pay a fee of entering from Dragonholm to Low District and then back.
Yeah, I was just going to ask when we return how many gates we passed.
So far, you only had to pay 4 pennies, 2 for each of you.
Okay. I'll cover it since I'm the only one with money.
Yay!
Alright.
Hashtag wealth.
Yeah, I'm rolling in it.
Yes. You enter the Somber Temple. Both of you, or only Vincent?
No, I'll go inside.
All right. Inside it's cold, but not like outside. It's the cold of the crypt. A few candles are burning, but there's eerie atmosphere in the Temple of More. There are long, everything casts long shadows. There are a few people praying there for more to save their souls and the souls of their loved ones, in case they will, they will die, simply put. And there are a few priests, of course, in their long cloaks and long hoods. You don't see their faces.
Walking into the temple, I think, is going to jog my memory of last night's dream, and I'm just going to kind of...
Actually, it has. And to your surprise, as you are walking towards one of the priests, he was like standing with his back to you. He suddenly turns and begins to walk in your direction. Welcome, Vincent. He speaks in a sibilant, creepy voice. Welcome to the House of More.
Is this one of the priests I've spoke to before?
You don't really know, because, like I've said, they all have their faces covered and they all sound pretty similar. They're like those creepy bastards,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my salute to Moore and say, "Good morning, Father."
This is a great day for us.
A great day?
Yes, for you have been touched by our God. Have you not? You had a dream last night, right?
I kind of look at Leopold. I had. Yes.
Paul von Solek spoke that you are one of the touched ones.
Okay. I kind of look at Leopold kind of...
He sensed greatness in you. Our God has his eye upon you. This is a great honor. Yes.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. You just need to act. When the time comes, you will need to act.
Well, perhaps that's why we are here.
Excellent.
We're looking for information. I'm kind of trying to gather myself, trying to get back on focus. We're investigating that symbol that the zombies had tattooed or engraved on them, and as well as looking into the name Van Hell.
Never speak this name so casually in the place of our most holy of gods. For his kind was a mix of was a curse and a blessing at the same time upon the Empire. Walk outside with me and take your friend.
Okay, I guess
You leave the premises of the temple.
No.
The priest takes off his hood. You see that he's completely clean-shaven. In fact, he doesn't have any eyebrows and eyelashes as well.
Oh, neither do I. Mine were burned off.
Yeah, but in his case, it looks like he simply, shaved them off. He has a raven tattoo on his forehead. Van Hel was, well, there were many of them actually. It was a noble line from the ancient times of the Empire, and it produced some of the worst monsters that ever walked the lands of this country, as well as heroes. Van Hel was originally a necromancer, a powerful one. He studied the arts of the accursed first, and as he said the name, like the word first, he almost spat it out, whose name I shall never speak out loud. But later, his line also produced many heroes, like Johann van Hel, one of the famous witch hunters who took part in the wars of the vampire counts and actually stood against the hated Konrad von Karstein. So you see, Vincent, it's a complicated thing. However, in case of those zombies, I presume that Van Hel's dark arts were used to create them. The dance of Van Hel, as it is called, is a powerful necromantic spell that allows for awakening of a huge number of walking dead. It's a very powerful spell and very dangerous to its caster. But if casted correctly, it will allow for a creation of a literal army of the dead. We have a necromancer here in Talabheim.
Do you have any?
And a powerful one at that. No, we do not know who that might be. We don't even have any ideas. That plague and the ratmen, all of that has thinned our ranks as well, and we can't conduct a thorough search of the city. Not in that situation. However, if you would be able to find some leads, you would make a great service to Moore.
We'll bring this foul fiend to Moore's justice.
Yes, indeed you shall. However, be warned. Anyone who can create a veritable army of the dead is a foe to be reckoned with. Do not take this duty lightly.
Do you have any literature or anything that could help us?
I do, but I'm not going to share it with you, for this kind of books are...
Why'd you even say you did then? Gosh.
For this kind of books are dangerous to the extreme, to the uninitiated. Your journey is just beginning, young Vincent. If you would try to read some of Van Hel's writings, heretical writings, you could go insane, or worse, you could try and become like him. For his is the way of easy power, and easy power always corrupts fastest.
What time period was he openly a citizen of Talabheim?
He wasn't a citizen of Talabheim. Van Hel was, he operated mainly from Sylvania, the accursed province, which spawned many horrors, including the dreaded vampire counts. It was said that the first vampires defeated by Sigmar at the Battle of Ragdorf fled there, after he cursed their names to forever be burned by his symbol of twin-tailed comet. In that case, the first emperor served more, and for that he has our eternal gratitude.
Well, we're intending to peruse the Hall of Records and trying to narrow
That's
maybe
an
a
excellent
time
idea.
period.
You should do that.
So yes, I guess what would be most helpful is perhaps the time period in which we should search the records for his name.
Van Hell's name won't give you any clues. The fact that someone is using his incantations doesn't mean that, Van Hell himself was involved in this. Obviously, he's dead for a very long time, as are most, if not all, of his descendants. Look for something else. And besides, you won't find his name in the records. No. Things like that are jealously guarded by us and by Sigmarite Templars and organizations like this. They are not known to ordinary citizens of the Empire, for knowledge like this corrupts and can drive people mad, or worse. I'm going back to the temple, and he runs away.
Dang it! I kind of look at Leopold like, kind of embarrassed about how the priests of Moor have been acting lately.
You don't see priests of Sigmar acting like that, right?
Oh well, yeah. Well, Leopold, as Leopold blushes. How long has it been since we left the Hall of Records?
With the walk and with the talk, about 2 hours, I say. I mean, sorry, since like 2 hours since when you left your home, and let's say an hour since you left the Hall of Records.
Okay.
Do you think maybe we have time? Do you want to go visit the Temple of Sigmar and see if we can get anything out of them, or do you want to just head back to the Law District?
Yeah, let's go to the Hall of Sigmar. Maybe if we could kind of narrow down when that stuff kind of happened in Talabheim, maybe that can kind of narrow our search once we get to the Hall of Records. Because right now, if we don't have a name, I guess we should be looking at events, and maybe from events we can find a location of interest and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to find out, but I think to the Priest of Moor's point that knowing the timeline isn't necessarily going to help us because the person involved now may have no direct connection to Van Hell. And so going back a couple hundred years through records may not necessarily. My hope is that with a G rune that we can look up the G section in the records and find it that way. But who knows?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if they have like articles or old newsprints of a certain time period, maybe we could find a location that might relate to something. Because if we're going to pursue something, we either ultimately we're going to need a location. Like, if we have a name, that's fine. But if we have a location, then
sure. Well, I definitely think going and asking the Priests of Sigmar if they know anything about the symbol we've seen, or if they can tell us anything more about Van Hell, would be at the very least a way to kill time before heading back.
Yeah.
So we might as well do it.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
All right. So
On my way out, I'm going to put 2 shillings into the
prayer box.
Prayer box for Temple of Moor.
All right.
I just make the sign of Moor or whatever it is. I don't know. Is it the John Cena "You Can't See Me"? Is that what it is?
What's that dance move that's all the craze lately?
Flossing.
No, dabbing. Is that what it is?
Oh, dabbing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids do that. Yes, they dab.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, anyway.
Well, the little kids still do it here all the time. It's annoying as hell. The other one they do is flossing. I don't know if you've seen that. Watching like little kids do it is kind of disturbing.
Anyway, you guys make your way to the Temple of Sigmar, and meanwhile, Lucas and Gennaro, you are still, I presume, doing your stuff. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to do anything else, or just do your stuff?
I'm just gonna bake a big pie for everybody for dinner, cause
you have enough time to boil some soup as well. Maybe make a dessert, because Dalbert has a few large honey pots.
Like the Esmeralda proverb, when the storm won't break, bake.
Oh, that's a very good one. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
It's like Mom say.
Anyway, you guys make your way to the Temple of Sigmar. And the Temple of Sigmar is one impressive sight, actually. Of course, the man god is not the prominent deity in the Talabheim, so naturally his temple is over ostentatious. Let's just say.
Okay.
Let's just put it like that. Now I just have to find the one thing. Well, yeah, here it is.
Would the temples have a little history registrar or something like that?
Probably, but they won't give it to you.
Okay. Private stuff.
Basically, after Tau and Verena, the Temple of Sigmar is the third largest in Talabheim, and despite this, the Sigmarites still hold a great deal of sway in the politics of the city-state. You know that for a fact after spending some time in the city. You also know that you've also heard that the high priest of the temple is named Farador, but apparently he mainly resides in a very fine mansion in the Manor district. Only occasionally coming to the temple. The temple is built from marble and steel, and Sigmar's temple is in fact the tallest of all the churches that are present in God's Row. It's simply monumental. The spires of the building rise so high above the ground they can be seen from nearly anywhere within the city, and the Sigmarite priests actually keep the time ringing the temple's great bells every hour to signify the passage of one more blessed minute of Sigmar's mercy. So you approach the temple. The doors leading inside are magnificent to behold, made from steel and wood, with an imperial cross emblazoned upon them. The craftsmanship is magnificent. You might even think that dwarves made it. It is 3 stories high and built with thick walls. It has only one grand entrance, like I said, the massive, imposing oak door wrapped round with iron. The doors are actually open since people are in dire need of a prayer. And you can see that the inner temple is carved from granite, and intricately shaped marble pillars line the main hall. At the end of the temple proper sits an empty, oversized throne. Leopold, you are a Sigmarite, so you know that empty thrones in Sigmar's temples or even shrines are something normal, because Sigmarites hold the belief that when their god returns, he must sit at the throne, but no one knows where he will return. So even the smallest temple in the wood has a throne, or something akin to the throne. Naturally, as in all of Sigmar's temples, there are no benches. People are praying on their knees or standing. but the floor, as you enter the temple itself, the floor is a wonder. It's simply a wonder. An intricately worked inlay of the twin-tailed comet, inlaid in gold and gromeril, covers the majority of the main temple's floor. There are a lot of people inside, praying or speaking quietly. You can also see temple guards and, basically knights with a symbol of a flame on their tabards. There are, of course, a couple of younger and older priests, and a few of them even of the warrior priest kind, clad in armor and with war hammers on their backs or at their belts. There's a palpable sense of, of not of danger, but these people are on edge, and they should be, because Walking Dead are, are all over the town,
Right.
including the God's Roll. So, what now, guys?
I go before the throne and kneel and do the sign of the hammer.
All right,
I'll follow suit.
right.
And then I look to see if I can get the attention of a priest or a warrior priest or somebody so that I can chat with them.
Well, it depends if you are going to chat with them,
Yeah.
So,
I will.
Whom you choose?
I
Who
would
do you
choose
choose?
a warrior priest.
All right. You approach a tall, powerful built man. His head shaven clean, and a huge double-handed warhammer at his back. He also has a set of full plate on him. He actually stands before one of the side altars, and apparently he just finishes his silent prayer. As you approach, he takes a glance at you, ever vigilant,
Yes.
and he waits for you to speak, for he will not speak to you first.
Okay. I'm assuming I would know. Would I call him
Father.
Are they?
Simple
Yeah,
with
father. Okay, same as a regular priest. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Father, Sigmar be praised.
Always and forever,
Yes.
he speaks.
Yes. My compatriot and I were at the battle on the knoll of whatever it was called.
Then you shall dine at Sigmar's halls. In
Yes, we
Sigmar's
were
halls,
hoping to find out more information. We wanna know where
To
these
smite the enemies of Sigmar, I presume.
absolutely.
Here, I want to hold up my shield.
Yes. We want to bring Sigmar's justice to all the non-believers.
Excellent. He speaks. What would you like to know? And before you can act, he takes out a small wax seal from his from one of his pockets, and he attaches it to your shield.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
thank you, Father.
Nice.
Now Sigmar will be with you always, especially on the battlefield.
We noticed that the foul undead had a marking on him. Have you ever seen that marking before?
Yes, we are aware that the accursed living abominations against nature have all been marked. We think it's a sign of the heretic who created them. It is a clear insult to all the fine folk, to all the decent folk of the Empire. This monster flaunts his or hers heresy into our faces by marking its creations. But we do not know the meaning of this symbol. But come to think of it, you might want to go to the low quarter and check there. Who knows? Maybe this vile fiend is a citizen of Talabheim.
Yes, we're hoping to discover the origins of that symbol ourselves. We've also heard someone at the battle mentioned a name that should not be mentioned.
Then do not mention
someone who
his
was
name
who was a
in the
terrible
place of Sigmar.
necromancer.
Yeah, do you know? That one.
As you said the word necromancer, the man flinched rather strongly.
As I see him get upset, I'm going to kind of intervene and be like, and we are going to hunt this vile beast down and give him Sigmar's justice.
Oh, excellent. He, immediately is much happier. Yes, you should do that. Let's walk outside, and you can tell me about this name. For I do not wish for you to speak it out loudly in this holiest of places.
Yes, Father. I do not wish to utter it inside this holy precinct
Indeed,
either.
you shall not. And
Okay.
with that, he basically leaves you outside.
Okay.
Outside the temple, you walk 30 meters from the temple. The man, rubs his hands. He doesn't have any gloves, and it's really cold. Right. Tell me about the name.
We heard the name Van Hel mentioned.
Van Hel? Ah! A vile sorcerer from ages past.
Yes.
A necromancer.
What age?
Ancient age. Even before the age of the three emperors. But his line has been plaguing the empire and saving it at the same time for quite some time now. There were many monsters created from the loins of the first of the Van Hels, but also some great heroes, including those who served our temple, including those who served Sigmar, like Johann Van Hel, one of the greatest Templars of the Order of the Silver Hammer. He took part in battles against the vampire counts during the dark times when those undead monstrosities nearly conquered the whole of the empire. We've known this name for quite some time. But what would you wish?
We wish
do with that?
to sort out the root of this second terrible plague to fall upon, or actually third terrible plague to fall upon the city of Talabheim.
Yes.
So that we can root it out and exterminate this abomination against Sigmar.
It is obvious to me and to my brothers that there is a powerful necromancer at work, or maybe a couple of necromancers, but we do not have any leads and we do not know where to look. The foul Skaven are our biggest concern, and we actually plan to lead a glorious crusade to root them out of the city, together with the Knights of the Order of the Fiery Heart, the Templars of Sigmar.
Did he just admit to Skaven?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too,
yeah,
but I didn't want to say
basically
it.
Basically, he did. Perhaps, he's tired of all the bullshit. There are no Skaven, ha ha ha. There are only beastmen propaganda. Yeah, or maybe he's just cookie, or maybe he doesn't care. Anyway, we plan to root them out, and that's actually consuming all of our attention and resources right now. But you could make us a fine service if you would find out where this fiend or fiends live. Still. And from where do they ply their foul trade?
It seems that these creatures are coming from the northeast. Well, generally. Do you know of any local province or somebody associated with the Van Hels that we might be able to investigate that area?
We do not know. If there are any Van Hels left in the world, then our temple has no recollection of them, actually. According to our records, Johann Van Hel died during the Wars of the Vampire Counts, but he may very well have survived, or maybe sired children before he fell in the battle against the spawns of von Karstein. But
Have you sensed any ripples of heresy within Talabheim?
Heresy is everywhere! Look around you, man. We are breathing heresy. It is most foul. It is most foul indeed, and we shall root it out.
Yes.
We
The
shall
Empire is built on the blood of martyrs.
I actually was thinking that you are going to say that the Empire is built upon heresy, but that would be strange. Of course it is. Of course it is, and it is good that it has been so. We are standing knee deep in darkness, but with Sigmar's grace, we shall overcome, as we always do. And because of fine men like you, we will win.
Yes.
It is,
Praise Sigmar.
Praise Sigmar.
Karl Franz.
Karl Franz!
Karl Franz.
Karl Franz. A couple of people around you also yelled Karl Franz.
Lucas
Karl
just
Franz.
picks up.
Yeah, Sandy, Lucas, and
For some reason, I felt like saying that. I don't really know why.
yeah, it's like you are chopping.
I'm chopping wood and I
chopping
just
wood
stopped.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karl
You
Franz.
look to the southeast and Karl Franz.
Oh, friends?
Karl Franz? Can you stop saying my name? Says the Emperor from Aldorf. It's really inconvenient, god damn it. No, of course. You see that the world is like,
So thank you, Father. We hope we have your blessings to root out this blot upon
upon the Empire,
the city.
son,
yes, the Empire.
of course. Because the Empire is not only Talabheim, it's not only Aldorf, it's what Sigmar taught us. It's about unity. We are all Sigmar's heirs. We are all the Empire.
Yes.
Never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I will pray for your success. And of course, if you find any trace of these accursed heretics, kill it with fire.
Yes.
And with that, he nods at each of you with respect, for he clearly sees that you are men of purpose. Makes a sign of the hammer, pulls out a small vial of water and sprinkles you with it, saying a quick prayer to Sigmar, and then returns to the insides of the temple.
Okay, I want to make the sign of Sigmar as well, and
Yep.
Leopold, you wish for me to make a donation?
I think we need to save our money so we can we don't run out for getting through the gates.
Very well. I will. I'll put in a shilling, though.
Our
Myself.
payment is our undying loyalty to Sigmar.
Indeed.
Cheapskate.
All right, so
Yeah.
I put a shilling in.
All right, you put a shilling into the prayer
My
box.
pockets are getting pretty light.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I presume you are going back to the law district, right?
Yes.
Or to your friends? I don't know.
No, we're going back. We got to go back to our place in line and see if we can find some info.
All right. So in that case,
Leopold can't handle the idea that they're going to pay these kids a penny each and not actually use them.
now that's heresy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I paid good money for that, or somebody did.
I'll give them my 2 cents.
Okay, guys, let's take a 5-minute break for bathroom and for me to make some coffee, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Cool.
Anybody else still here?
Yep.
Hey, I got a question for you. I've been painting a squad of Imperial Guard, and I'm at the point now where I'm trying to decide how to do their shoulder pad markings if I want to go that far. And there's a lot of information out there, but I'm not really certain what the protocol is.
Okay, so new hammer or old hammer?
Well, the figures are new hammer.
Okay.
They're like from 2000, I think, maybe 2004. But
So-
I don't have a problem with painting, because I noticed that the old ones are more circular and the newer ones, I guess, are less circular.
Yeah, I mean, in the old one, it was basically anything goes as long as it was consistent amongst the regiment.
Yeah.
In the new one, you have what is essentially, much like Space Marines, a army symbol on one pad and a squad number on the other pad.
Yeah.
Now, you tend to have the squad numbers in the old hammer ones too, but even then, that was not terribly consistent. And a lot of times, it might be instead of like an army badge, it might be like like half red, half blue, or something like that.
Right. That was the one thing I've got the Imperial Guard Codex, which I think might be from like 2nd edition. And they have a whole thing with how they break the regiment down into different color companies, and then the companies each have different color. So you have like a black company that then they have a red squad, or a blue squad,
Right.
or platoon, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Platoon. And then
Really, it's however you want to do it. Like for mine, I have an army badge on. Well, for my new hammer ones, I have an army badge on one side, and then on the other side, I use a 3-digit numbering system.
Right.
Which it's basically regiment, platoon, squad number.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I saw one of the graphics I pulled up. It had that. It had like a bunch of guys, and they had like 008 and 231 and stuff like that. So
yeah,
okay.
and I just like picked a random number starting point basically.
Right.
So like the first one is it's like 135 or something like that.
Right.
So
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to research it more just so I have something that makes sense to me, because I mean, like I've seen there was some guy who did something where he essentially it looked like he was sort of mimicking like Civil War cavalry banners or something like that. So it had it had like a Roman numeral and then like 2 Arabic numerals after it for like the different what corps, regiment, and company or whatever it was in, or something like that. All that stuff. My head starts to spin when I think about it too much. So I'm trying to keep it simple.
yeah, it's basically as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was thinking of, because I don't have any decals, so I would have to freehand all of this, and I was looking at it, I was like, oh man. It's like painting circles, like two-tone circles on things. That doesn't really sound very fun.
Well, you can hit up eBay,
Okay.
like from the bit sellers, and they usually sell the decals per sheet pretty cheap.
Okay. Well, I actually have to look and see, because I buried the boxes. So I bought these from Lopez a while back, and they were just sealed boxes, and I don't know if they have decals in them or not. I don't recall offhand now anymore.
Are they plastics or metal?
Oh, they're totally plastics. Yeah, they're pretty new.
Are the Acadians then?
Yes.
Yeah, they have decals that come with them, and I think the Acadians use that number, like that 3-digit numbering.
Yeah.
If you want, if you get like 1 in 285 scale, like airplane decals, that's about the right size.
Okay.
For a shoulder pad.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'm just trying to figure out some way. I mean, I have some ideas, and I do like the idea of doing, like the C for the command squad and all that jazz. But I'm just not sure how much time I really want to invest in numbering shoulder pads.
You could just get a Steel Legion army. like I have, and then you don't have shoulder pads to deal with.
Yeah, that's true.
Just make sure to get like some Solvaset or some Microsol and Microset for the decals. If you don't do decals a lot, you need that.
I never do. Yeah, I never do. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll look into it more. It's just I'm trying to finish these up by today, and I'm just thinking that I'll have to go back and do the shoulder markings at a later date. But who knows?
I'm back.
Okay, yeah, just so you know, here's the. I'm on eBay right now, and there's a set of Cadian decals for $2.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more. That's the modern one. There's some of the older ones that have kind of cooler symbols. If you want like an army symbol too, or something like that. Those are
cool.
And like I said, I mean that's just the current ones. The other thing too is about the Imperial Guard is there's a lot of like custom decal manufacturers too. Who's there's one right out here in Virginia that I've used, not their decals, but I've used their stencils.
Yeah.
Fallout Hobbies.
Okay.
Okay. Leopold and Vincent, you are making your way back to the central registry.
Yes.
Inside, of course, you see that your urchins are still in place, and after about 15 minutes after you arrived, it's your time to talk to the clerk.
Okay.
Of course, you've paid the kids who know it in gratitude, and you stand in front of the line. The clerk, a small, pale man, asks in a voice which basically indicates that he literally is not capable of being more bored. How can I help you in this fine day, gentlemen?
We need to look at the registry for a symbol with a G on it.
Can you please be more specific or elaborate more?
Could we have access
because
to...
the letter G is literally in every single registry in Talabheim.
I don't recall what... Go ahead.
Yeah, could we have access to a registry that lists all family names with G? Like I'm assuming you have them in alphabetical order. Could we borrow that here?
I believe that there are over 70 volumes in that particular registry, stretching back to Talabheim's founding. Which volume do you wish to see?
I would say the most recent.
All right, I don't care. He gives you a piece of parchment. You need a signature authorizing this request from your superior officer. Make certain he signs here and here. Then get this form stamped in the Hall of Records before returning here.
Okay. How many hours are left in the day?
There's nothing I can do, sirs. It is the law.
Yes, sir. No, I'm asking as a point of reference. How many hours are left in the day?
Well, if you'll be quick enough, you should probably be able to bring this back to him.
Okay, but
all right.
Here's the plan. Pay the kids to hold our place in line. Let's go get Kopinski and get him to sign this.
Yes, and then if we pass Dobblers, we'll swing by.
Remember that you also need to stamp this in the Hall of Records.
Is the Hall of Records right by here, though? Or is it somewhere else?
Hall of Records?
It's close enough.
Yeah.
No,
we're not.
Where are they now? Because I thought they were already in the Hall of Records.
No,
they are in the Central Registry.
Central Registry. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You can probably see Hall of Records on the map.
Right.
I need it for the notes. That's all. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were in front of the Obelisk of Laws at the Yeah, so we were at the Ovis of Laws. I don't even see the Grand. I don't say where the Hall of Records is, but that's okay. It's all around there.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
yeah, basically.
All right. So I'm going to give 4 pence to. Leopold, do you think we should bring the others back while we're running these little errands, or is
Yeah, why
or would
not?
that just be more? It's just a couple pence more.
Well, Kopinski isn't quite all the way back to Dobler's though, right? Kopinski is closer to us than
sure.
Dobler's is. So I feel
I
like
thought
we're not.
Kopinski was to the north. I don't know. Can you answer that? Miguel?
Kopinski is a bit more to the north, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we are going to pass by Dobler's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you want to hold a place for the other 2 guys, if you think they'll want to come with us, that doesn't sound unreasonable to me. The main thing I'm concerned about is money and running out of it.
Yeah, 2 pence. I think we could probably afford.
Mm-hmm.
Because they might have some ideas as well. Two more brains. So I'm going to, on our way out, I'm going to go speak to whoever we spoke to before about holding a spot in line and request 4 spots be held.
All right. You
offer 4 pence.
You find the kid without any problems. Of course, he's more than happy than take place for you for a fee, naturally.
Okay.
You leave the place and you make your way towards what, the guys or just Kopinski?
Well,
Do you want to pick up the guys on the way to Kopinski?
Doesn't matter. We're passing the house anyway. Why don't you go get the signature? I'll tell the other 2 what's going on. Then you just meet us back here. Then we'll all leave from Dobler's.
Okay.
Unless it's dangerous, in which case we'll all go together. I'm not quite sure what the environment of the city is right now.
Well, like I've said,
It's supposed to be dangerous.
Most of the people are walking at least in pairs, if not,
Okay.
if not more. Because,
Well, and the other thing I would say is that I personally think there's something fishy about Kopinski, so I wouldn't mind having at least one person as backup in case he turns out to be a necromancer.
Yeah. Let's just stop by Dobler's, and if they're in the middle of something, we'll come back, and if they're ready to go, then we'll just all go together.
Yeah, remember that it's also time for you to eat, because it's been quite a few hours and you are getting hungry, and you don't exactly have anything with you to eat. So
That is true.
First of all, you return to Dalber's. Right from the very entrance, you can smell the wonderful, aroma of cooking, and some damn fine cooking as well. In the main room of Dalber's house, there's a table at which Sally, Lucas, and the apothecary himself sit and eat hearty soup and some delicious-looking meat pie, and of course wash it all down. Yeah, well,
pies for
I mean there's enough pie, for all of you, and then some. There's of course also some fine drink, wine for those who want to alcoholize themselves, and something like herbal tea for the others. You basically see that Vincent and Leopold enter the room. Sally and
on our way back,
Lucas.
I'm gonna ask Leopold to keep the whole "I've been chosen by more" thing. Just keep it to himself for now. Kind of have that conversation before we get to Dobler's house. Just so I don't want people to think that I might be going crazy or something.
Well, you're not going crazy because the priest said it. You didn't say it.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know.
You enter the main room. Dauber says, "Oh, welcome. We're just having our lunch. Please sit and eat with us. Sally made a wonderful meat pie. He's quite a cook."
I'm on my 3rd glass of wine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You are wine. Good stuff.
Once everybody's sitting down, I'm gonna do a little toast.
Yep.
All right. You raise your
What's that?
glasses.
A casa per quanto lontano. Now I'm going to take a sip.
What he said.
Salami bacon.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Actually, Daubler also, responds in Thailand, although heavily accented to your toast.
Yeah, but like I said, basically, to home however far.
To what?
To home however far.
Oh, all right.
Ah.
All right. Yeah, you are eating. Now you can exchange information, if you prefer, of course.
Look over to
Okay.
Leopold.
So I just tell them all about how we went to, while we were waiting for our turn in line, we were able to go to the two temples and find out that they didn't really know anything more than what we knew, except that we got the name of we got a little bit more information about Van Hel and who that person was, and that we have to get this signed by our commanding officer and stamped at the Hall of Records before we can come back and look at the registry.
Would commanding, was he specific to say officer, or could we just have Lucas sign it?
That is true. He did say commanding officer,
Okay.
but
They probably have ranks on record though, so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's but Kopinski is an officer now, so
Yeah.
unless that form hasn't been filled out in triplicate yet at the Hall of Records.
I imagine it takes 6 to 9 months.
But so I tell him that, and then I say, we have the official line placeholders holding a place for each of us, but we do need to hurry up and get this signed and stamped before we go back. And we'd like you guys to go with us, but you don't have to.
Is Sally sober enough to go with us?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not drunk, you bastard.
If you guys need some time to prepare, we can pick you up after we swing by Dobbler's, but
Kopinski's, yeah.
Bensky's, yeah.
Oh, and then maybe we'll see his wife.
I've already been there,
I'll leave that one alone.
All right. So you are you finished your meal. There was a little small talk from Doubler and from you, from yourselves as well, but nothing too big. The food is, it was really good. The wine was also really good, even though Sally drank most of it. You don't have to test for alcohol yet, Sally, but you do know that you've drank quite a bit today, just so you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
Yeah. And with that, you leave your house and go towards the watch house, like the watch station, or however it is called. There you meet Kopinski, who also just finished his meal. He doesn't even ask. He doesn't even ask why you need his signature, but he gives it to you anyway. He's probably glad that you are basically working for the city. Working to help the city. So he's not inclining too much. And with that, you go back to the Low District. Remember to pay everyone a single penny as you pass the gates.
I'll get that.
All right. You arrive at the Hall of Records, where you also need to wait at least an hour. So it's getting pretty late, but whatever. And but yeah, finally you have what you need.
It's like the DMV.
Yeah, you return to the central agency. Registry. My God. You return to central registry. The kids are still holding your line, and this time the line is longer, so you wait another hour and a half.
Wait, so we've gotten it stamped at the Hall of Records?
Yeah, without any problems. You just had to wait. You wait another hour and a half, and finally all of you are standing in front of the small, pale man. Welcome to the welcome to the Central Registry. How may I help you? He asked with this extremely bored and boring voice.
Well,
I don't
elbow Leopold to give him the papers.
So here you go, sir. We're back with our signed and notarized paper to look at the last G registry.
He takes the paper, looks at it, frowns. Actually, that's the wrong form. I will have to give you another one. Sorry.
What?
Well, yes, this is a clearly wrong form. It's not for the.
That's on you, buddy.
Yeah, did you give us this form? Because whoever gave us this form is going to.
Who cares? It's a wrong form.
No. You gave us this form. We did what you asked. We're going in.
Are you accusing whoever gave us this form to have committed a crime?
Don't be a smartass with me, boy. I've been doing this for much longer than you think. Anyway, here's the proper form. Go to your superior officer, have it signed, then go to the Hall of Records, then return to me, and I will give you access to the registry. Thank you. Have a good day. Next.
Oh.
Yeah, he
What
as
is the-
much
what is
as
the
galling
penalty?
as galling as that is, in a city like this, you got to accept that.
I was gonna say, what is the penalty for murdering the guy at his desk?
It depends. It depends if you have a signed paper from your officer or not.
All right. Well, I guess we're.
Double check the paper, and then ask him: is there anything else we need to do prior to
He
getting the paperwork?
basically already, he's already speaking with another person, so he doesn't.
Yeah,
he
we've
just ignores you at this point.
Okay. So this is we're in front of the Hall of Record, or what is the building that we need to go into to get this? I'm starting to scope it out to see if there's ways to break into this sucker.
Well, the door are behind him basically, and there are guards here. Armed guards.
So I'm just wondering if there's. I just want to. I'm just going to start walking around and seeing. Is there a place I can climb up? Is there a back door? Is there something
outside? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys walk outside, and of course, Leopold, you are pissed. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Outside, there are a couple of statues. Some pedestals, something like that. You are beginning to look around for a place to climb.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in this district, which is one of the most heavily defended and patrolled district, because this is a city of law, you probably won't find any. However, there's one thing that suddenly caught your eye. On the base of a statue depicting the torture of a racked miscreant that stands outside the central registry, you notice a stylized G that is exceedingly similar to the zombie's mark on the base of their ankles.
Okay.
So this is a piece of artwork?
I told you.
A statue.
A statue.
Yeah, a statue.
Does it have a date on it?
We needed to go to talk to the artists.
Are there any guards out there?
Well, there are a lot of people, some lawmen, guards, heralds, something like that. It's central registry. It's always busy.
I I want to point out that if that's the same person, it's likely to be somebody that's very old because that statue can't be new, right?
Actually, it looks quite new.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of
Well,
why
I'd
I was
ask
wondering if there
Anybody
was like a
looks like they
little
work here.
placard
like
with
who
a
that
date
is.
on it.
Ask somebody might know. Maybe the guy runs Talabheim tours and can tell us everything about this thing.
So what, are you just asking
Uh,
anyone?
I'm gonna ask somebody on the street. Hey, do you know anything about this statue? It just caught my eye.
Guards, heralds, or just anybody that
Yeah,
looks like they
you ask a young lawyer who is making his way towards the entrance to the central registry. Sorry. Oh yes, that's a piece by Dr. Gugula Skell. Not her best work, but it serves. What?
Who's it depicting?
Well, it's a miscreant. Don't you see? You know, he's racked by his guilt, and of course, he's tortured for his crimes.
Mm-hmm. So who is this this Googleplex? What?
Gugula Skell, Dr. Gugula Skell, and I would like to remind you, good sir, that she's a very respected person in Talabheim. She lives in Manor District, you know. That's something. I don't think that you live in Manor District. No offense.
You would be quite right. I do not live in the Manor District.
Ah, I knew it.
I'll be stopping by there later, though. It sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Anyway, I need to go. Have a fine day. And he goes
Thank
away.
you.
Hey, I hate to do this, but can you spell that?
Yeah, I'm going to write it because her name, seriously, her name is just, oh man.
I need to see this.
Here, I've typed
Oh,
it.
Google is okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's not Jujula, it's literally Gugula Skell.
Great name.
Yeah, I know.
And you said doctor?
Yes,
Yes.
she's well. He said that she's a doctor.
Doctor Professor. Hey Sally, do you still have your lock picks? I don't say that super loud. I don't say it super loud, but
Yeah. Hey Sally, want to break into something?
I should point out here,
Yeah.
yes.
if she has the power to raise the dead, maybe 4 of us sneaking in on our own, not the best plan. Just gonna throw that out there.
Well, look at where we are. Maybe we can go with some official business.
That's probably a better idea.
Well, we could do that. We also could drop go back to the warrior priest of Sigmar seemed very interested.
Yeah, that's what that was the other thing I was going to suggest is just let the SWAT team go charge in and deal with it that way. I do like the idea though if maybe we can work ourselves a patrol in the Manor District the next day to maybe do some investigating first, though. But yeah, I think picking the lock and breaking into her house, especially as it's getting late in the day, probably not the best idea.
Yeah, I guess.
Might be safer to break in during the day.
Yeah, in the morning.
During the day?
As opposed
Yeah. But my hourglass is almost empty.
I hear there's a skeleton walking around carrying one in her place. Do you really want to see that?
Well, if I can smash it, sure. But anyway, all right. So we've been foiled in our plan for the day, but at least we found out some information. So I feel good about that. So yeah, we can head back if you. But we're going to be on duty tomorrow. Do you guys want to? So you want to hold off on telling the priest of Sigmar till we can find out more info? Right, that sounds fair.
Yeah, I think we try to weasel our way into a patrol in the Manor District tomorrow.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't see how we're gonna do that, but you're sneakier than I am as far as that goes. So maybe.
Maybe we just swing by the Manor District and see if we bump into some guards, have a drink with them or something.
Yeah, if we have time in the day, we might as well, we don't have to get real evasive. We could just walk the area, make sure she even lives there. Maybe she doesn't live there anymore, or it's abandoned, and because if she's bringing all these zombies, she's probably not still sitting at home chiseling
I like that
on
idea.
a stone.
Yeah, let's ID exactly where her house is if we can find it in the time we have left in the day. That would be.
I imagine if she sprung some kind of zombie apocalypse, she's probably moved on from wherever she is registered to live. So maybe we can get something done today if we just scope out the house.
Just I kind of bring everybody in closer so I could speak quieter. What if we forge our commanding officer's signature and commandeer part of her house? I mean, we're in the right district to get the papers for it.
I look at Lucas. Lucas, do you know how getting a warrant in Talabheim works?
Lucas is a woodcutter.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does know how to make a warrant.
I was gonna say, considering where we are and all that stuff, I was like, no paper trail.
Yeah.
Let's go scope it out and see if we can see where she actually lives, and if it looks right, maybe we sneak in there. But otherwise, trying to bluff our way in with bullshit paperwork sounds like a trip straight to the headman's axe.
Especially because she's well respected.
How many hands width is the sun from the edge of the crater?
Not much, not long.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of time. So why don't we just swing by there real quick and make sure we have enough daylight to get back to Dobbler's?
Okay.
I agree.
So what? You are going to the Manor District?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get in.
You make your way to the Manor District. Actually, if you look at the map, you see that there are no gates from the Low District to the Manor District. So, fortunately, you don't have to pay any fees. Of course, you are walking past the Grand Manor, the house of the ruler of the Talabheim, as well as the Royal Academy of Talabheim, both grandiose, impressive buildings. The Grand Manor is, as you walk past it, you see that it's also very heavily defended by knightly orders, professional army, not militia, professional Talabheim army, in reds and whites, and even cannons and artillery. Clearly, the Duchess is not taking any chances. Anyway, Manor District is a sprawling neighborhood on the eastern side of the city, spreading out into the verdant fields within the crater. And you can see that this district is the home of the wealthiest and most influential members of Talabheim. And it probably gains its name from the large number of manor houses with extensive gardens and well-groomed grounds. You of course pass along many expensive shops. The architecture of these estates of manors is really beautiful, having wide windows and skylights, and it actually stands in stark contrast to most wealthy homes throughout the empire, which are designed more like miniature castles. These homes are built, for style, for flair, not for practicality or defensibility. It's obvious the nobles of Talabheim are less concerned about defense than their peers in other cities. The Grand Manor itself is actually comprised of a half dozen buildings where the ruler of Talabheim resides. The walls surrounding the Grand Manor are 20 feet high, made of rich black basalt, probably carved from the walls of the Talabaston, and covered in impressive friezes depicting notable moments in Talabheim's history. Through the barred gate, you also see a massive fountain adorned with a huge bronze stack. This is really an impressive place. Eventually, you reach the Manor District grounds itself. So you are walking past many manors. Sorry. And of course, you are quite out of your element here. The guards are patrolling this place in force. None of them actually stops you. Stop you, but they are eyeballing you with a mix of not hostility but suspicion and boredom. So you don't really know where Dr. Skell resides. You only know that she has her house someplace here.
Did we pass we passed a bunch of shops? Did we pass any galleries, like art galleries, as we passed
a couple,
the shops?
yes, but they were closed at this point. It's early evening as you reach this place, just so you know. And of course, in here you don't actually hear the moaning or the screaming of people suddenly attacked by presumably the Walking Dead. But even so, you're eyeing every single dark alley nervously. Fortunately, there are not that many of them here, but still, remember that it's already dark as you reach the Manor District, and there are many horrors afoot.
So what do you think, guys? We try to stop one of these groups of soldiers and tell them that we're trying to deliver a message to Dr. Skell? If they know where that...
I think that would be a bad idea, because they're already eyeing us suspiciously.
Okay.
I think it's all the more reason we need to try to come back tomorrow in our uniforms on patrol.
Isn't that the only clothing we have is our uniform?
Yeah, the only clothing I have is my uniform, so that's what I am wearing, but yeah.
Would it be intrusive to kind of make, or we're obviously they're staring us down, telling them why we're here probably I don't think will cause any worry, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I guess the point so they're all wearing like regular. We're wearing militia uniforms, and I guess that's what makes us look out of place, is because militia isn't really patrolling here. But that's what I'm saying. Is say, our officer wanted us to deliver.
Sally, do you still have your Araby clothing? Because I do.
What?
Do you still have your fine Araby clothing?
Maybe. Let me check. I'm not sure I do.
Because I do.
Do they like foreigners up here?
No, but it certainly looks aristocratic, probably to the point where we can bluff our way into the doctors.
I don't.
I wasn't
an artist.
I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking to bluff my way in. All I'm looking to do is find out where she actually lives, and then.
That's actually a good point, though. I mean, not that people from Talabheim aren't familiar with other cultures, but a lot of them are going to be, kind of less educated. And if you show up somebody speaking with a funny accent, wearing funny clothes, like they're not going to understand that people from Araby look different. They're just going to, they're probably not going to get that. You could probably pass it off both as it's something important and it looks aristocratic, but also That way, if there's rumors that go around about somebody's asking around if she's got spies, then it's gonna point to somebody else. It's gonna cover our tracks a little better.
So do you want me to speak in Thailand, and you guys are my bodyguards and translators?
It's an idea. Like, I don't know how. It's you want to go that route?
Yeah, if I'm speaking Thailand, though, like, you guys are going to have to extract any information. I'm just basically an idiot speaking another language.
well, you can speak the language, just every so often throw in a Chilean accent to make it, make yourself look foreign. Like, you can, how, you're obviously local to here, so you can speak the language, just you could probably convince more folks with your accent than, say, somebody from Wissenland.
Yeah. Who are we going to ask, though? Is it still the other soldiers? Because I think the point is there's fewer people on the street right now.
Yeah, I mean, the soldiers are patrolling this part of the city, of course, rather extensively. But at this very moment, as you are walking, through the streets of the Manor District, you don't see any patrol. Although probably you won't have any problems finding them in the long run,
Yeah. So, Sally, if you had your outfit.
Sorry for a second.
I actually don't have it anymore. That's the only thing. Like, if I'm going to play the role, I could do it with the accent, but I'm pretty much going to be dressed how I'm dressed now.
Because I have mine because it was in my pack, and that's all I took. My pack and my shield. So, of course, you could probably put that on, and it probably looks goofy enough to wear. They could just assume, I guess that's how it looks.
So? Well, what's your plan, guys?
Well, I have my clothing. Sally doesn't. I was wondering if just roll up the sleeves a bit and he can wear mine, because they're not going to know how it's supposed to look anyway.
Did your clothes have a hat? Because I could just wear the hat. Like that should be enough to make me look boring.
Well, according to my sketch, they all came with hats.
Wearing a fez or a turban.
Or did they? Hold on.
Well, you do have a turban, but you need to fix it on your head. It's not like a ready-to-wear turban.
Is this what we want to do?
Yeah, who's leading the way, though?
One of us can lead the way. Maybe you, Lucas, since you're from the area, you could probably be the most convincing Talabheimer, and just say that your charge is wishing to was requested to come to whoever.
Yeah, Lucas is the guide and translator. You guys are.
We're just your bodyguards, or been hired to escort
Minders.
you. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so are we gonna cut? Are we doing this now, or because do you actually have it on you now, or do we need to come back?
He has
I
his
have all this gear. Yeah,
sucked
it's
his
in my pack.
turban on. Yeah.
Okay, well let's find a place to put it on him, and then we can do that.
You find a side alley between two, nice-looking manors without any problems. Side alley where no one is, no one is noticing you. Where you're not seen, basically.
Okay.
So who's wearing the fancy Arabian dress?
Sally.
Sally, all right, Sally.
I was just gonna do the headdress though, not the whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the headdress combined with your normal dress will just look weird, and you know that.
Okay.
It's like, if you would be wearing
Yeah.
jeans, a t-shirt, and suddenly a turban. You wouldn't look strange. You would look stupid. Simply put.
Yeah.
He's wearing his Talabheim militia uniform and a
Yeah,
turban.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, yeah. Put this on, Sally. Roll up the sleeves.
Roll up the pant legs.
Don't ruin it.
I light my pipe when I have it all on. I just kind of walk around my pipe, just being led by my guide and translator over here.
All right, no problem. You do all that stuff, and you very quickly notice that wearing light Arabian clothing in winter is probably not the best idea, because it's cold. Just so you know, and it quickly begins to bother you, actually. Walking like that.
Well, the first person I spot, I want to go over to them and tell them that I'm escort.
You notice a patrol of 4 guards.
Okay, yeah.
4 soldiers actually, not guards, who are patrolling the streets with their, with spears in hand and shields at the ready.
Yes. So I walk up to them and because obviously I'm in my uniform as well,
Yeah.
and greet them and then say,
Welcome.
something to the effect of, I'm here escorting Senor, and I basically just throw whatever Chilean names I know. Like 4 or 5 of them in a row. Johann, or that's actually a German name, isn't it?
Marco
Abdul,
Umberto
Tortellini, spaghetti.
Exactly. And he is interested in commissioning Dr. Gugala Scale for a statue, but we don't know where she is, and if they could point us in the direction of her home.
I'm in the back. I'm gonna be like, we're going to be late for his appointment, Lucas. To make it sound like there's
No real names.
Too late. The guard sergeant looks at you rather strangely. He looks at the rest. He looks at Sally, who looks like who looks weird, wearing such light clothing in this weather, and he's like,
Quanto oro.
Yeah,
Garia.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
I turn to him, look like I'm listening, turn back to the guard and say, he's getting very anxious. Can you please just point us in the direction?
Isn't he a bit lightly clothed for such weather? I mean,
you know those foreigners. Do anything they do make sense? It's just he's eccentric.
Well, yes, but
he's a foreigner. He doesn't even worship any of our gods. Some one of their foreign gods. I mean, what do you expect? They ain't all there.
Oh, actually,
that's as they would say, as they say in my hometown of whatever my hometown is. Bless his heart.
Right. Well, first of all, Dr. Skal is no longer a practicing physician, Mineran. She spent years administering to the richer nobles Talabheim. From what I know, however, and me and my men, we are patrolling this part of town for quite some time. We know that Frau Skal is a patron of the arts, actually known for supporting local artists. Well, she mostly keeps to herself these days, She very seldom socializes anymore, except at maybe 1 or 2 bigger events each year. And he whispers, apparently she has some kind of skin condition that keeps her out of the sun,
Of course she does.
Yes. Frau Skel's manor is this way and that way, and he basically just tells you how to reach this place. And with that, he and his men quickly, basically they run away because you are all weirdos and they don't want to have anything to do with you. Yeah. So,
Alright.
Sally, test your toughness, please.
Okay, one sec.
You begin to cough and wheeze.
Well, we've got the information we need, so we can get him changed back into his clothes now.
Yep.
Okay. But that's or if we're not far away, we should just scurry our way over there because if it's a 10-minute walk, then we might need to use the disguise if we run into anybody else on the way.
Yeah, but if he's starting to wheeze and cough, that's going to attract even more attention.
Yeah.
Now that we know where she is, we want to kind of be able to just walk past it, glance, walk past it again, glance. And him wheezing and coughing and being dressed that way is going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think,
put my other clothes back on, and then I'm gonna wrap up in my rugged blanket and try and warm back up.
All right.
Okay.
So far, you are having a cold. You've just got a cold. And this means that you have a minus 5% modifier to all your characteristics for quite some time.
No.
Because you're doing something like that. Fortunately, there is a distinction between people afflicted with Grey Aug and people who just have cold. So,
Okay, good. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. So.
and we happen to be living with a doctor, so we should be good.
Yeah, probably. You probably guess that when you return, Dabber will give you something, and overnight it will just go away.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, you go towards the house of Dr. Gugulaskel.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. It's heresy. Anyway, Skell's Manor is actually not noticeably different on the outside than any of the other manor houses in the district. It appears to be a plush 2-storied building with a walled garden. I presume you do a few circles around it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but trying to not look conspicuous.
All right. The backyard has several gates allowing you to look in. The garden isn't as well kept as the majority of the others in the neighborhood, and there is a faint smell of pungent flowers about the walls. Everyone roll plus 30% perception test.
Okay.
Hold on.
Pass.
All right.
Failed.
Failed with a botch or no botch?
Nope, just a regular fail.
Okay. Brian,
Plus 30%, I made it.
Yeah. Sean and Jason, you recognize the smell as a strong aroma of rotting lilacs. Yeah.
Vincent and who recognize that?
Leopold.
Vincent and Leopold. Yeah, so that's it.
Rotten lilacs.
Yeah, lilacs, sorry. So what are we going to do now?
We should probably head back now.
Yeah, we need to come back during the day because this is obvious signs of trying to trying to mask the scent of death. In my opinion, I need to sharpen some stakes.
All right.
Yeah. So I think coming back in broad daylight and bringing the light of Sigmar into her face is the way to go.
Do we know anything about vampires like that, though? Or is that something that has to be taught?
Come again?
Like, do we know that about vampires, though?
Do you have knowledge about vampires?
I don't. I might have heard it mentioned, but I have no idea what.
I think that's what he's. Yeah, I think that's what he's asking.
No,
Well, I
mean,
guess technically I don't have it because I would need history. I would need knowledge, history, or necromancy. I guess, and
Yeah.
I don't have either of those right now.
knowledge vampires, knowledge necromancy, something like that. Remember that to
Okay.
common citizen of the empire. Of the empire, a vampire is a fairy tale, basically, or
Okay.
or used to scare little children who are misbehaving. That a big
Mhm.
bad vampire will come and kidnap you and then turn you into a bat.
Well, but we do know that there are zombies. So I'm assuming that there's something undead inside this house.
We know of necromancers, but we don't know much about them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, both the priest of Mor and the priest of Sigmar told you that this is probably a work of a necromancer, and
Yep.
that someone is using the incantations of Van Hel,
Mm.
who himself was a very powerful practitioner of the dead arts, or
Mm.
rather undead arts. Right, so you make your way back to your house, I presume, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do want to mention. I don't think we should mention this to Dobler.
No, I was going to mention it
Yeah.
to the priest of Sigmar, if anybody.
Agreed. But Sally needs to get some sleep, and maybe Gobbler has a little something for us. That common
Rubber
cold of
test.
his. Yeah.
Some scissor.
All right.
Sipping scissor. Sipping.
You make your way back. You, of course, pay the fee because you had to walk past the gates from the Low District to the Dragon's home. A penny each, please. A couple of times you had a faint suggestion of shuffling feet and moaning from side alleys in the Low District and later in Dragon's home, but fortunately nothing bad happened to you. As you go back to, as you enter Double's house, it's clear that the apothecary is already asleep, but there is still some meat pie, and he left you some bread and cheese on the table as well. So you are having a fine late evening meal. Remember that next day you have to report to Kopinski at 6 a.m. Yeah. Does any of you do anything before going to sleep?
Just eat.
Alright. So you eat and you go to sleep. None of you remember any dreams, or if indeed you had any. Next day, it's not snowing, but the sky is still overcast. Of course, when you get up, it's still dark. Indeed, when you when you reach the gatehouse, it's only beginning to to get a little bit lighter. Kopinski is standing there. He's obviously very tired, very fatigued. Oh, welcome. I hope that the signature that I gave you yesterday helped you in some way.
Nope.
Oh, sad to hear
Did I
that.
get more wounds back from sleeping?
Brian, please repeat. There's something
did I get more
about your
wounds
Skype.
back?
It's
Oh,
I can't quite hear you.
Did I get more wounds back?
A single one, yes.
Okay.
Anyway, without further ado, he tells you that today is the last day of your patrols, because from tomorrow you will be stationed at one of the barricades, overseeing the the streets leading to the occupied area. He's of course he tells you that he will be there with you as well, and that the barricade duty is actually considered a mixed blessing at best, because at one point it's probably less dangerous, since almost none of these Skaven are attacking the barricades. But on the other hand, it's like 6 to 10 hours a day just sitting in one place in the cold with little food, because Talabheim has serious problem with foodstuffs, and there's not much to do. Forget about like playing dice or cards, because all of the soldiers are ordered to be on high alert. So it's basically just 10 hours sitting in one place watching the streets. But on the other hand, patrolling the streets with the Walking Dead is not much safer. A couple of men, a couple of bulldogs, and other militiamen died since the beginning of the outbreak of the Living Dead, devoured or torn to shreds by the zombies, whom you suspect are creations of Gugulaskel. Or maybe not. Wah, wah, wah. Who knows? So it's like choice between shitty post and more shitty post and shittier post.
Yeah.
But anyway, you go on a patrol. Patrol lasts like 7 hours. Of course, at one point you take a small break to eat something. Patrolling men are actually given a daily ration of food, but it's very small and not exactly good, well tasting. Stale bread, maybe some oat cakes. Literally a few thin pieces of dried meat, and you wash it down, of course, with water, because no alcohol is permitted during the patrols. After your patrol has ended, during the time of the early afternoon, Kopinski dismisses you, and he tells you that tomorrow, 7 a.m., at the barricade near Ustenstrasse, which is just one of the streets in Dragon's Home, you need to be there naturally on time. And with that, he bids you farewell and returns to the gatehouse. Let's say it's 2 p.m. for the sake of time counting. Please tell me what you are going to do. You still have a few hours left of sunlight.
What do you say, fellas?
Well, I mean, do we need to head to the Sigmarite temple, or possibly the Moor temple? Because if we get stuck on barricade duty, it's going to be a while before, because it's 10-hour shifts. So then we're not going to be getting out until the night.
Right. Yeah, if we want to alert the priests, if we don't want to investigate it by ourselves, or then yeah, alerting the priests is the way to go.
Yeah, we do know that they did say that their resources were so slim with the Skaven that they are not actively doing anything as far as the zombies go. But maybe we can get something to help us on our way.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also did say that he wanted us to get information, help get information for it. So, yeah.
Okay.
And I assume what you're getting at, Lucas, is that you don't want to go there by ourselves.
Well, what I'm getting to is that if we don't go to the priests who can deal with it now, we likely won't have the chance to go there, and then we'll be forced to go there after having sat there in a barricade all day for 10 hours with nothing to do, bored out of our minds, and probably with our attention spans shot.
Yeah.
Let's go to the priest of Sigmar first, I think.
Okay.
All right. So you make your way to the Temple of Sigmar in God's Row. Let's say for the sake of convenience that you are actually patrolling God's Row, so it's not far. And of course, when you are on duty, you don't need to pay the fee when you have your commanding officer with you. But since you're no longer on duty, so when you return from God's Row, you will need to pay the fee. Of course, the Temple of Sigmar is still standing. Heldenhammer be praised. Yeah, you walk inside. Lucas and Sally, I've already described this building, so all I can say is that it's incredibly impressive. And from what I understood, Sally, you are also becoming a Sigmarite or something, right?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it looks
just for small talk at parties.
Yeah, it looks grand.
Yeah.
Vincent and Leopold, you spot immediately your fellow warrior priest. He's once again tending to the small side shrine on the bottom floor. You walk towards him, right?
Yes.
All right. Once again, the man clearly has, well, maybe supernatural awareness is a bad word of describing it, but probably his battlefield instincts kick in, and as you approach, he turns quickly. When he looks who's walking towards him, he smiles broadly. "Oh, welcome, man of faith. You're back."
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. We have news.
He grabs your hands in a manner of warrior's handshake. Shakes your hands with vigor. The man is clearly extremely strong. "Tell me about the news. And are these your friends?" And he points towards Lucas and Sally.
Yes, these are my compatriots. We're serving together in the militia.
"Let me greet you." And he also shakes your hands, Lucas and Sally.
I pull my double-tailed comet pendant out of my shirt so you can see it.
He nods sagely with respect, and produces another wax seal from his pocket and attaches it to your shoulder. "May Sigmar guide you, little man. You are little of stature, but huge of heart." And he's not saying this in like a mocking manner. He actually means that you're a pretty cool dude. Yeah. "Tell me about the news, friends. Our situation is dire, but with Sigmar's help, we shall overcome."
We appear to have found a possible source of the.
Do not say the
forces.
word, which I think you want to use. Not in this place. You found the source. Where is the source?
We believe it to be from the manner of a Dr. Google Eskel.
I've heard of her. She is known among the nobility of this city. She used to treat many nobles. But from what I've understood, her career is over. She now is and he's passed the word, an artist. Clearly for a warrior priest, being an artist is not a especially respectable thing to be. So you think that she's behind the outbreak?
Well, we're suspicious. One of the comments made was that she has a skin condition and can no longer come out into the light.
And
my friend.
And
Yes?
I also say, and the statue in the law district that she did has a very similar mark to the ones on the zombies' legs or wherever it is on their bodies.
He looks at you with grave concern and says, "Friends, this is dire. But you are Sigmar's champions now. You must do what needs to be done. Skel's house is in the Manor district. I'm going to issue you with a paper which will basically allow you to enter her house, which you will do in Sigmar's name and with his word on your lips. You will find the evidence of her misbehavior, and you will take her to justice. To help you in your quest, I will also issue you with a couple of blessed stakes.
Yes. Now we're
What-
talking.
They are
How does it work?
well, you stake someone with the stake.
Anywhere?
So should we make it like medium rare, medium,
In the
well
foot?
done?
The priest looks
Well
at
done.
you.
That's the only way to deal with a heretic.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Exactly that. You plant the stake into the heart of the fiend, who no longer should live, but it does. And you pray to Sigmar to smash his soul with his holy hammer. That's how you do it. Wait
Yeah.
here, I'll be back shortly with the stakes. And with that he departs and returns shortly with carrying a small wooden box with a symbol of a twin-tailed comet and a hammer. He opens the box reverently. Inside you see plain wooden stakes without any ornamentation. It's just 2 pieces of wood. And he says,
Salt.
Got my hopes
Pepper.
up for nothing.
Saves me having to buy or make my own. I'm down.
these stakes have been blessed by the high priest of our temple. They are the bane of the living dead, of the enemies of the man god himself. If Skell is indeed one of the nocturnal folk, then you know what to do. Bring us a proof of her heresy. I'm sorry, but I cannot send anyone with you. We are stretched too thin, and these are hard times. But because of men like you, the Empire has endured for millennia, and it will do so for many more to come.
does this warrant or whatever it was he gave us, does that get us out of having to go to barricade duty the next day?
Well, no.
Will it trump that?
No,
No.
basically he also gives you the small piece of paper with the seal of the temple. Basically, what this means is that it allows you to enter the house and not being considered, crooks.
It's a warrant.
Yeah,
Right.
it's basically a warrant. And of course, it is only you those of you who can read. You see that it's only viable for this day.
Expires.
Yeah.
It's only good for today. Got it.
Actually, it does. It says that it will expire at midnight of this very day.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Alright.
Now go and do the work of the hammer. He says, slaps each of you on the shoulder, and the man has a hearty slap. Not to mention that he's wearing steel gloves. And sends you on your way.
Alright.
Yep.
So there's 2 stakes.
Yeah, there are 2 stakes. They look like they are made of oak. They are quite sturdy, but there's no ornamentation on them. No, no symbols, nothing. Of course, he kept the chest. He only gave you the stakes.
Yeah.
But from what he told you, the stakes have been blessed by a high priest of Sigmar. So
Yeah. I'm definitely taking one. Somebody else can have the other one if they want.
Who's taking
We probably-
the other one?
Yeah, we really should split them up in case, somebody gets skewered alive or something.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was thinking of not taking both of them. But I definitely want one.
Any
Vincent's the
objection?
other. Vincent's the other Sigmar worshiper, so he should probably have it because as we know, gods don't particularly like letting their magic weapons work for people that don't worship them. I mean that's basic common knowledge, so I probably shouldn't have it. And Sally, I think, only kind of tangentially, worships Sigmar, so.
Yeah, I'll
I'm too busy filling a rucksack with looted stuff. Thanks how we have a warrant to enter this noble's home now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask to take it anyway. If there was
Well,
no
also,
objections.
as an inherited more, also you can you can smite necromancers. I'm sure it'll work for you.
Yeah. All right. To the Temple of Moor.
Oh, do we have time to go to the temple? You want to go to the temple
Well,
more now?
I'm just trying to see if there's if there would be a value into going, or if we need to hurry, we need to hurry.
Actually, remember that Skell's house is quite far away, and it's already.
Yeah, I think we're
late.
burning daylight. Daylight is our friend here.
Yeah, unless your crazy buddy Paul wants to come with us, and you know that, I think we probably just need to head over there.
All right. Well, I guess we have instructions on how to use these stakes.
He told
if we're stressed on time, then I guess to the manor.
Yeah, I'm concerned that we're going to run out of daylight. So, unless you know that there's something specifically that the Priest of Moor can give us that will aid us, I'd say, because I don't remember.
Well, they are the anti-undead.
That
That's
is
the
true.
thing. So, like,
But
I don't know.
yeah, but I just don't recall them. I don't recall what their response was as far as they seemed, the Sigmar guy seemed like, yeah, I'll help you, or we'll help each other, whereas the Moor guys were just like, yeah, whatever. But I could be wrong.
Well, let me run in there. If nothing happens, we'll quickly move on our way because just
All right.
Okay,
Well,
to basically speed things up a bit, the Priest of Moor tell you to just do it yourself.
all right. Let's go.
All right.
In fact, they are, well, not pissed, but they are seriously surprised that the Servant of Moor, doesn't go to deal with necromancy as fast as possible, and instead just, runs crying for help or even asking for help. Because while Moor may not be as malicious a god as Ulrich or Sigmar, he does expect his followers to do what's necessary, even if they are, outnumbered, outgunned, or if it's hopeless. When it comes to undead,
Oh, sure. That wasn't the intention. Like it was.
Like I said, it's not like they were berating you. They just told you that if you find any sign of the Walking Dead, you need to deal with that as fast as possible and not ask for help in 50 different places, because before you finish asking for help in 50 different places, the curse of the undead may as well spread. I'm not actually okay. Did you tell them that you found about Skell the last day? Pro tip: don't, because then they will be extremely pissed that you haven't dealt with that yesterday.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, welcome
no.
to the temple life, to the life basically of someone who fights for their god. It's not sunshine and flowers. It's basically a death wish. Let's all be honest. Because you really need to act as fast as possible against the enemies of Sigmar or Moor or something like that.
Yeah.
And they don't take kindly to those who basically just bide their time, because that's not the way of these gods. But of course, they gave you a blessing. They've also told you that once you're done with Skell, one way or another, because Morites are not as fanatical as Sigmarites in declaring someone's guilty. They've told you that if Gugula Skell is indeed a heretic, then of course you need to kill her. But even if she's not a heretic, then go back to us and report what you found. Because we need to have the whole picture. But we can't send anyone with you, because our Templars, our soldiers, the servants of the temple, are busy guiding the cemetery and making sure that the Temple of Moor itself is safe.
All right.
So it's up to you.
Let's go.
Yep. Agreed.
Do we have enough time to finish this today, or?
We are almost at the end,
Okay, cool.
basically. But this is my question: how much time do you guys have?
I mean, I probably have like 45 minutes to an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine with me. Jason, Brian.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd work.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Okay.
Can we take 5 minutes though?
Now?
Yeah.
All right. 5 minutes break.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds good.
Cool.
All right, be back in a sec.
I'm back, guys.
Cool.
Okay, just stuff in my face here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm spending money on eBay, so I shouldn't be here.
These long breaks
Yeah.
are expensive.
Yep. I'm buying what's probably knockoff Forge World stuff, but it's a good price, so.
That's the general attitude.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine, he has the Chinese recast, and he says there's literally no difference, and he has like less casts with those than the actual ones.
It's from my understanding is depending on who you buy through, some of them are very good, some of them are very bad, and it really depends.
It's just a moral dilemma, really. Like,
Yeah. Well, these ones aren't shipping from China. One is shipping from Brooklyn, and one is shipping from Germany, according to their auctions. So, they say they're real in the description.
So yeah, we're gonna get fucked up fighting a vampire.
Yep.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
just a necromancer. Or somebody with a skin condition.
I mean, we don't really know anything about vampires, so that's basically what we're walking into this, assuming she's some powerful necromancer.
Maybe it's
I mean,
just
out
a
of-
bedridden old woman. Huzzah, Staker!
I'm back.
With
I'm
leprosy.
Back.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry.
Bedridden old woman with leprosy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We have a license to pillage at this point, so we can put a stake in whoever and say they were undead and take all their stuff.
Should we rent a mule with a cart?
Get your pillowcase ready, Sally.
A license to steal shit. All right.
Signed by Frieza Sigmar. Says it right here.
Of course. Anyway, you guys are making your way towards the house of Dr. Gugulaskel with your newly acquired license to, do great justice.
Yes.
And your conviction that you'll be successful in your quest. Sigmar's quest. Anyway,
Yes.
after some time, almost an hour in fact, you arrive before the gates to Dr. Skell's house in the Manor District. You are ready, you are determined. Like I've said, probably at any time, there are not much people on the streets, and there are no people at the street that you are standing on right now. Basically because most of the nobles of Talabheim decide to remain indoors when they have less chance of catching the plague and don't have to slum with commoners. Okay, what now? You can still smell the aroma of pungent flowers, pungent lilacs. Declare what you are going to do.
My vote is we always go in through the back door. And,
You old dog, you.
well, yeah. Well, that goes without saying. But,
Back door is best door.
I put two in the front door and one in the back door, so that's what
One from the back, one from the front.
so you're saying poker in the front, liquor in the rear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around? I forget.
Two
Poker in the back,
the,
liquor in the front.
two in the snapper, one in the crapper.
Anyway, well, I always feel like even though we do have a get out of jail free card, that we don't need to draw attention to ourselves. So that's why
by the
I
way,
always.
who has the get out of jail free card? Because if they go down, the
I
other
think
people are going to be.
I believe he gave it to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Leopold has it.
So in case you
Leopold.
die, we need to know who to grab it off of.
Leopold
Yeah.
is the chosen of Sigmar now.
I'll pin it to my shirt. How's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So these can rip it off.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you've pinned it to your shirt. No problems.
And Vince, you still have a bomb, right?
Yes. I do still have a dwarven bomb.
If all else fails,
The
bomb
dwarven
place.
hand grenade of.
Yeah, Holy Sigmar's hand grenade.
So that's just my suggestion is that we all go in through the gate in the garden
In the back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Of course, one of the gates leading to the back are closed, but you don't think that there should be any problems, with breaking it down or maybe lockpicking it. You're not sure how to proceed.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
If Sally wants to pick the lock, he can, or he can lend his lockpick set to me. I'll do it.
Sorry?
If
My character sheet up again.
I'm going to say if she can raise the dead, I don't know that we want to try to pick the lock. Can we just hike ourselves up over the fence?
The fence is pretty high. You'll need to test climbing. And actually, it's not a fence; it's a wall.
Right.
What am I testing the lock picking with? Is it agility?
Agility, of course. Nice.
There you go.
Sally produced his set of lockpicks, and in no time, he opened the gate. You go inside. You walk through the empty manor premises and approach one of the back door leading to the two-story high manor.
By the way, can I just get out my club and the stake in my offhand?
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys armed or are you just?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I'm doing
Leopold has a good idea.
All right.
club in right hand, sword break.
Okay.
Shield and stake at the moment.
All right.
Bless
Cheers.
you.
I'd probably put the Vince and I'd probably put the stake up and grab a hand weapon because she isn't going to be the first person we see.
Maybe. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll have the my axe out then.
All right.
Yeah.
You approach the back door. You open it.
Yes.
It's closed.
Oh, damn it.
Well, guess we got to go home.
Pick it.
The roll.
Go for it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even faster than before, Sally picked the lock.
All right.
You open the door, and it opens with sound like that.
Real quick, order of movement. Who's going in first? Should I go in first with the shield? Leopold, do you want to be behind me with the stake?
Sure.
Does that work? Any?
Yep.
I'll take up the rear.
Okay.
And I'll be third
Lucas
in
will
line, I
take up
guess.
the rear.
Okay. You go inside. There's a lot of dust, hanging inside. Like clearly, this place hasn't been cleaned in a while. Of course, the interior is spacious and filled with tasteful furniture. However, as you make your way through the house, the mansion actually, there is nothing to be found that you wouldn't expect to find in a physician's home. There is a small study which holds a number of books on medicine. Some of them are written in classical, others in Reichspiel, and there are a few books about art that are written in Thailian. But naturally, you don't find any suspicious grimoire. Nothing about the occult. It takes you about a good half an hour to rummage through all of her stuff.
And this whole time, we haven't come across anybody. We haven't heard anything.
No.
Okay.
I would press to the others that we search later, and we move to our intended target first without really any concern with what, looting at this point. That can be done later.
Solid
but we don't
plan.
want to be too fast because that's how you get a booby trap.
Well, sure. I mean, like we're not flipping through books type of thing.
Everyone, roll a minus 20% search test. That's
Intelligence?
Yeah, that's minus, not plus, by the way.
Woo!
Minus
minus 20, I don't make it.
I made it.
Oh,
All right.
you did make it. Good
Brian,
job.
you might want to spend a luck point.
Yeah, I'll take the luck.
All right, you haven't passed. Minus 20. All right. Yeah. Lucas, you are an outdoorsman. You have a knack for spying the.
I'm actually a Talabheim, but
I mean, you're like, yeah, I know. I mean, I said that you are like the guy who lives in the wilds.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you have a talent for spying and odd thing here and there. And in Doctor's main hall, you found a false backed closet.
Mm.
The back panel has been clearly designed to roll out and away.
Yeah, let's go. Open it and go.
All right.
Do we need to find a light source before we go down there? Is there
Definitely,
candles?
because it reveals a crudely hacked staircase leading down. The staircase is pitch black. Even
Yeah.
Sally's night vision won't be able to penetrate the gloom.
Yeah, we should.
However, there are lamps, there are oil lamps, and candles with like hot stands in her house.
Hmm.
Lucas, do you think you can finagle one of these lanterns and maybe make a torch that can burn hot enough to possibly use as a weapon?
I think I'd be better off taking a lamp and then just throwing it and letting the oil splatter.
Yep.
Okay, I'm
Sounds
just
good to me.
thinking the whole use fire, fix it with fire type of.
Getting a lamp, a lamp can essentially double as a hand grenade if you need it to, so, or a Molotov cocktail maybe would be a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
idea.
I have that grain alcohol I can throw on it too if the first one doesn't do anything.
Sally, grab the
Actually,
grenade out of my pack.
Actually, you need to have knowledge about engineering and perhaps alchemy to use Molotov cocktails.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, you would know, especially if you live on a farm, that if you drop a lantern, the stuff in it's going to spread.
Yes.
The oil in it's going to spread, and it's going to be on fire. So I'm not talking about using it like a Molotov.
No,
Like,
I wasn't saying about the lamp. I was saying about the bottle with the alcohol.
Oh,
okay.
I think he meant throw the bottle onto the fire.
Yeah.
So that it spreads further.
That's true. Okay. All right. So you found how
I'm
many?
I want to pass my the dwarven grenade to Sally since he's third in line, and he's used the grenade before. Do you want to take that, Sally?
I'm not planning on using it, but I will if we need it.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
grab 2 lanterns. Let's have Leopold have one, and I'll take one.
All right, Leopold.
That way we have a
Okay.
backup. That way we have a backup lantern.
So
All right.
Yeah, so you are having your lanterns in your offhand, I presume, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna put the stake back in my belt.
All right.
Mm.
You make your way down. The dark corridor leads down, far below the level of the street by, you presume, at least a good 30 feet. And it ends into a circular room. Unlike the coarse tunnel that led to it, the room seems to have been formed whole from the rock itself. Actually, it reminds you guys of the pit stop which you took with Eladio when you were traveling under Talbaston. This is probably dwarf's work because it's too good to be made by an ordinary human, and it shows. A single table, formed from a large piece of white stone, perhaps alabaster or granite, rests in the center of the room. It is covered with old stains that are clearly blood. A massive candle-bearing chandelier is suspended above the table by an iron chain wrapped about a post near the entrance. Several other tunnels led off into the darkness about the room. A large series of cabinets sits on the far side of the room. The cabinets are filled with an array of scrupulously clean medical instruments as well as a number of saws. You see that one box is filled with a wide variety of string, twine and sinews. Another holds dozens of needles, ranging from small pins to large sewing needles. That's what you see. And as you are realizing just exactly what is that the good doctor does with her spare time, suddenly a voice echoes down one of the corridors. "Have you gentlemen found what you came for?" You turn around in that direction, I presume?
Yes.
Yes.
An average-sized figure that, at first, seems to be entirely clad in armor made of bone, slowly walks into the room from one of the side corridors. He silently advances into the room, and you swiftly realize that the bone armor is in fact part of his body. His exposed ribcage is interwoven with a darkly beautiful series of molded bone plates and intricately engraved lengths of steel. The blazing blue pits of fire that once held his eyes regard you for a moment before his weirdly echoing voice continues. "You come too late, warriors. She has already answered her master's call. I am, or was, Christoph Baumer." You see that his left hand is held around the hilt of a strangely exotic, intricately made sword strapped to his belt. However, he doesn't look like he intends to pull the blade. None of you, I presume, has academic knowledge history.
No.
No.
Alright. He speaks, "I am bound to this place." You see that his body begins to shudder. "But I would have it otherwise. I love this city in life, some part of me loves it still. I offer you the only bargain I can. Swear in Holy Sigmar's name that you will release me if I will tell you that which you need to know."
I will release you if you don't tell us what we want to know. Then is he pretty clearly undead?
He's
Yeah.
a walking skeleton.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Wait a minute, I'm going actually to upload Herr Baumer. So what, you are basically saying him to that...
That I'm more than welcome to send him on his way.
Alright.
Either way.
Yeah, whether he has information for us or not.
Okay, just wait a second. He actually nods, as you said that, with a sort of, you guess, respect. Oh yeah, sorry. And he actually waits for you to, like, ask him stuff. However, you see that he begins to shudder and that his other hand slowly reaches towards the well, it's not really a sword, it's more like a saber. Which you see that its handle has been made from a mix of horn, bone and metal. It's it looks beautiful, but also a bit unnerving at the same time. Baumer has been added to the handout section.
Okay.
Where is your master now?
She has been summoned by her true master, the one who intends to close the eye of the forest forever.
I'm moving to striking range.
All right.
Readying my weapon.
As you move to a striking range, you see that he grabs the sword and begins to take it out of the
And who is
scabbard.
her master?
Sorry. Skell is a pawn of the Ratmen. She is bound to a powerful Skaven wizard named Xathrodox86's. The plague troops that hold the poor quarter of the city are not the Steel Eyes though. They belong to a rival of his, named Nerich the Suppurator. He shudders again, visibly attempting to restrain his hand as he lifts the sword above his head and grabs it with his second hand.
Where was she summoned to?
The true battle comes soon. I know still I wanted the Countess to send for help, but I don't know why. Defend yourselves, for I can give no quarter! And with that he roars, the fires in his eyes blaze like a cold inferno, and now you see the horrible fate that has befallen him, and now you understand why necromancy and living death is one of the most horrible curses that could ever be placed upon someone. He screeches, or rather roars, and charges towards you. Everyone tests for basically, frightening trait. Willpower.
Willpower.
And then it's, of course, time to roll for initiative. But first, let's see who passes the test. Brian, roll 100 again.
I think I'm gonna reroll.
Did you really?
No.
I rolled.
No, sorry, he did.
No, I rolled it.
I did 100 again?
What?
Wait,
No,
did
he
it
rolled
roll?
70.
No, you did not. My bad. You hadn't passed the test, but you basically, yeah. So what?
Apparently, Leopold doesn't care.
Oh no, sorry. Brian passed. 44, all right. Andrew, nope. Leopold, yes. Jason, no.
So I didn't need to use my my luck point. Right?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
All right, Sally and Leopold. You are standing strong. However, Vincent and Lucas, you are terrified by the apparition that now charges towards you.
Can we defend?
Exotic blade held high. Held high. Now roll for initiative.
Can we defend in the frightened state?
No, you can't.
What's the initiative? That's 1d10 plus.
1d10 plus agility. By the way, guys, you might want to spend luck points to.
Yeah, I want to spend luck points on the willpower.
All right.
Yeah, I will too.
All right. So. And
Still
then-
fail.
Kill again. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are paralyzed.
Yeah, those willpower checks suck. That's the first one I passed.
Oh,
Yeah, Jason.
well.
You wrote. Okay. I will remember that you wrote 10. So please give me your total.
49.
Okay. Wait a second, Brian.
Vincent has a 49.
Brian, Jason, Sean, and Andrew.
I got a 57.
57 Andrew, alright. 49 Jason. Sean,
55 total.
55. Sally,
63.
63. Now I'm going to roll for him. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, he sucks. Alright. So, each of you is faster than Balmer. Well, I mean, aside from the guys who are, terrified, naturally. Sally is first. Then it's Leopold, and then it's Balmer. Next turn, Lucas and Vincent can try and break the effects of fear upon them.
Jason, didn't you want to use the luck to re-roll that?
Yeah, I failed again though.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Sally.
I guess I'm gonna get in combat first. I guess I don't like charging in, but since I'm the only one that can do something besides Leopold right now,
So what are you going to do?
I'm charging in with my club and my swordbreaker.
All right, you charge the fiend with your club and your swordbreaker, crying "Ah!" Roll for charge. Okay.
So am I using 2 attacks for this?
No, you're not.
Okay.
Because multiple attacks is a separate action. If you would play a Bretonnian knight with a certain skill, I mean a certain prayer, yes, then you have then you can use the number of your attacks during charge. But you're not. Anyway, you've charged this thing. However, Baumer moves incredibly fast for something that's made from bone, metal, and ivory, and he simply dodged your strike. Leopold, you're now.
Okay, so I have to charge to get to him. Is that the deal?
Actually, you need to just advance and strike because Sally is kind of in the way.
Okay. So essentially, I get one attack in instead of two because I need to get to him first, right?
Yeah, but you get a plus 10% from Sally.
Okay. All right. I will attack with my club.
All right. You move towards and you strike.
Oh.
You strike him with your club, right into the middle of his chest. Roll for damage.
D10 plus my strength, right?
Yeah, D10 plus your strength.
All right. Just adding it in the roller. Boink. 7 total.
7 total. Your club bounced off his armor. He is not even slowed in the slightest. The thing before you, basically his sword, just so you know, it looks like a katana.
Okay.
It's even described like that in the book.
Wait. Do we have common knowledge, Cathay?
No. I'm just telling
I know.
you know, for purposes.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, a smart ass.
Actually, you would have to have a common knowledge Nippon because Cafe is China.
Nippon, sorry.
Oh.
Burn. Anyway, Baumer
Use the smart ass now.
Yeah. Baumer slashes at both of you. One attack towards Leopold, the other attack towards Sally. He fights in a complete silence. Leopold, the blade goes right towards your arm. He is incredibly fast with it and incredibly skilled. Are you dodging? Are you parrying? Are you just going to let it slice you?
I am going. Actually, do I have dodge blow? I think I do, but I don't remember now. I do have dodge blow.
All right.
I'm going to dodge blow because
blow.
I can't parry because I have a stupid lantern in my hand.
Yeah. Dodge.
As always, not totally prepared. All right, dodge blow would be. Is that a
Agility.
Okay, I'll just roll agility.
Yeah.
There it is. Darn it.
Luck?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a luck point.
Alright, so you spend a luck point then.
Nope.
Oh, it's a botch. Now,
Awesome.
Alright, first of all, I need to open the Apocrypha. You try to move out of the way, however you slipped on the damp stone. This thing's fantastic looking blade goes straight for your shoulder. And you just have time for a quick prayer to Sigmar, so it won't hurt as much.
Oh, your shoulder, right where the. Do you have the? Oh no, it's Lucas that has the Sigmarian seal on his. No, Sally has the Sigmarian shield on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I say, well, maybe I can drop the lamp so that it shatters and we both are engulfed in flames and die.
That's a very good idea.
It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
Okay,
being set on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is. Wait a second. It's number 2. My God, sorry. Okay. All right. Basically, you've tried to dodge, and you don't know how he managed to do it. But before he slashed your shoulder with his blade, he managed to disarm you. Basically, he used the hilt of his sword to tear the club from your hand, and it spins a couple of meters back.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we'll see how much he'll hurt you. It's 14 damage to the shoulder.
I was hoping that 2 was the damage for you.
Yeah.
Please tell me if it's when you entered into the critical territory, because his weapon actually is very nasty when it comes to critics.
Well, considering that I only had 14 hit points. Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. No, I have to take away.
Armor and toughness, of course.
Okay, only toughness then, because I have a leather jerkin, so I have no armor.
All right.
So I take 11. What's that?
It's the shoulder though, so would that be the torso or the arm?
It's arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I take 11 points of damage, so I have 3 left.
All right. He slashed your shoulder with his blade. The touch of the blade is cold as death. You yell in pain as you feel the coldness reaching out towards your heart. Baumer reversed the blade with incredible speed and flourish and sent it right towards Sally. Fortunately, Sally managed to duck the blade that would probably eviscerate him normally. Right, next round. First of all, Lucas and Vincent, try to break out of your state.
Okay,
right,
is that
Vincent.
just that's another? Is that a willpower roll?
Yeah. Vincent, you are too terrified as well
I'm
as you.
I'm gonna use luck. I need
Fuck.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Hey.
Vincent,
I'm going to use a luck point too.
the scream of your friend brought you out, as well as you, Lucas. Next turn, you can act normally. And this turn,
Lucas
will be
yelled.
Yeah. No, sorry, no, Lucas yelled. Leopold yelled.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Can
Okay.
this turn? Can I set the lantern down and pull my
No.
knife out with my offhand? No. Okay.
No. You basically are.
Takes the whole turn to come out.
No, actually, you are composed enough to probably dodge, but you are just waking up from this horrible spell of fear.
Okay.
Right, Sally, your turn now.
Okay. Do I get to make 2 attacks now?
You can, yes.
Okay. Here's the first one.
Both of them with plus 10%. However, of course, second attack is with minus 10%, so on your normal weapon skill. Roll.
Okay. Here's the.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Luck.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
By the way,
That's
sorry,
delicious.
Brian, how much luck do you have left?
I have 1 left now.
Because I recall that you've lost a fate point, I believe, or something, or maybe not. Maybe it's just me. All right, no worries. You almost lost your weapon.
I have 2 fate points and I'm lucky, so I have like 3
Yeah,
luck
so you
points.
should have 3 luck points,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, sure.
That's the second one. Okay.
Yeah, you've almost lost your weapon. You've managed to grab it just in time before it flew away. But because of that, your first strike was deflected by Baumer with supernatural speed and without any effort. Roll for a second attack on your basic weapon skill.
Aha!
Alright, we shall see if he'll dodge.
But
No. You've managed to strike him in the arm, basically. Roll for damage.
Strength of 4, so 9.
9. Alright. You've chipped the bone a bit.
It's a hairline
back-
fracture.
Yeah, basically. Of course, this thing fights without uttering any sound. Any war cries, any taunts, nothing. He is as deaf, he is silent. Leopold, you don't have any weapon. Your club flew somewhere into the dark room. You don't even know where it is.
Okay. Well, I have a dagger and a stake in my belt. I'm gonna pull the stake.
You pull out the stake.
Out.
Do you have fast draw?
Do I have fast draw? No.
All right. So 1 action to pull the stake.
Yeah,
And
that's my. Oh, and then I get a second action because I have 2 attacks.
yeah. No.
Right.
You have 2 actions per turn, or rather,
Okay.
it's half
a
action,
half
half
action.
action. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I'd like to pull out the stake and then stab him with it.
All right. You try to ram this thing with a stake. Roll.
Mm-hmm. Da-da-da. son of a. At least it's not a fumble.
Baumer danced back, and then he basically made 2 quick slashes towards Sally. One low, one high. The first missed completely. The other also missed. You are one lucky bastard, Sally.
He's not used to fighting halflings.
Yeah. Next round. Alright, Sally is still first, then it's going to be Sean, then it's going to be...
I thought I was first.
No, Andrew, you are actually 47, right?
No, I was 58 or something like
Sorry,
that.
57, yeah, but Brian is 63.
Okay.
So it's Brian, Andrew, Sean, Jason.
Okay.
Brian.
So the first attack is plus 10, second attack is normal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
That's with the club.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Right. So you get a bonus to damage. Roll for damage. All right. Even with a bonus to damage, you did not do anything.
Where did he hit him?
He hit him in the leg, actually. But like you see that Baumer is actually he is fused with the with armor, so he's armored in this strange mix of bone and plate. I mean, sorry, not plate but chainmail from basically head to toe. Your attack slid off his leg. Next attack. No.
This is not a bot.
Next attack was blocked by this thing. Now it's Andrew.
Okay. I want to put the lantern down, draw my
half
knife,
action.
and then draw my knife. So after I do those two things, so I have a hatchet in one hand, and a knife in the other, and a lantern on the ground next to me.
All right.
That's it for what I can do this turn, right?
Yes. You carefully put the lantern on the ground so as not to set fire to yourself, because that would be inconvenient.
Right.
And you pull out your dagger, gangster style. And yeah, you are ready to go. And now it's Sean's turn. Leopold.
Okay.
Vengeance
I'm just gonna try
of
to.
Visenland.
Yeah. Stab him with a stake again.
All right. You try to stab him with a stake.
Ooh,
Hey.
success.
All right. Roll for damage. The stake goes right towards his hand.
Is it still the D10 plus 3 plus my strength bonus?
Because basically, the blessing about the stake works in a way that it's treated as a normal hand weapon and not an improvised weapon when fighting against undead.
Okay, sweet.
Ooh.
Hey.
12 damage, baby.
Nice. Yeah, this he felt. You managed to, you don't know how, took away a large part of his bony armor with his stake. Baumer shuddered, although he hasn't uttered a single word, but he's still standing. So, who's second attack? Or you only have one? Oh, you only
No, I have 2 attacks.
Right. So,
I do have 2 attacks. I just
attack.
forgot.
The other one's with the dagger, though, right?
Sweet!
All right.
Take that. By the power of Sigmar, die!
Roll a 10.
Eh,
Yeah, the second attack he simply took on his chest, and while you were able to do some damage, it was superficial. Finally, it's Vincent's turn.
All right, I'm going to
Ram him with the shield and knock him on his ass.
mumble some prayers to Moore. Now, am I in range since I was approaching him from the beginning, or
No,
do I
you're
need
not.
to move? All right, so I'll move, then attack.
All right. You've got plus 20% from your friends.
All right, now moving in. Okay, that's a success then.
Yeah, you've managed to strike him in the arm.
Okay.
With your, what, axe, right?
Yes.
All right.
That's just my strength. Oh, I got strike mighty blow, right? So that's
Plus 1.
d6 plus 4 since my strength is 3. 12.
nice.
Yeah, and the mighty blow indeed it was, for a huge part of his other arm came off. But he's still standing.
Is he still holding the sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. Alright. Now, he's trying to concentrate on the weakest opponent, so that would be Leopold.
Yeah, of course.
Once again, he spins the blade in his hand and tries to strike you. And yeah, it goes right towards your arm.
Oh
Dodge?
no.
Yeah, dodge. I don't know
Alright.
why I just rolled. I just know why I just rolled the die, but let me see. Where's the dodge? Oh, I had it down here. Dodge blow. Found it.
Awesome.
Zoink. Yay!
Just in time, you've managed to evade the killing edge of his exotic-looking sword, but there's a second strike.
Uh-oh.
But fortunately, this one missed completely. Sally. Now you.
Okay, I'm going in again. 2 attacks is the first one. Is it just plus 10 this time, or since we have
No,
more people?
it's plus 20%, actually.
Plus 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom.
Nice.
Right. You try and dodge this. Yeah. You almost smashed his head in, but he jumped back. So
Okay.
now second attack with a plus 10% modifier.
Oof.
With the second one, almost made you overreach. However, you've composed yourself. Now, Lucas,
Yes.
Fist of Tau.
Yes. Now I'm going to charge in.
You can charge. There are too many people, not enough space.
Well, I'm going to enter combat then.
Exactly. Plus 30% for you.
Okay, and that is
Nice.
which I got.
Nice.
Yeah. You've struck him right in the arm. Roll for damage.
That's just 1d10 plus strength bonus.
Yeah. Unless you have Strike Mighty Blow. Ooh,
No.
Nice.
Nice.
You've struck him. Baumer begins basically to fall apart, but the horrible magic of Dr. Gugula's Skull is still keeping him fighting. Even though you see that his like jawbone falls away, you know, parts of his armor and bone fused together are also falling away, but some horrible force is still composing him to fight you and to try and kill you.
Does he have any arms left?
What?
Does he have any arms left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought one fell off and
No,
he was beat.
No.
I told you that parts of his arms fell off, because besides in case of the undead, you know, he can even have like his hand, then nothing, then then the remainder of his arm, and they will still be like operational, because undead are simply fused together by magic. So yeah, it works like that. Anyway, after Lucas, we have Leopold. Leopold, go for
Yep.
it. Plus 30%.
All right. Clobbering time.
Collaborating time.
Just
Oh,
one
I
for
still
you.
missed though. I
Yeah.
missed. Yeah.
You've
You got second attack.
Okay, second
missed
attack.
him by a hair's breadth, but there's a second attack plus 20%.
That
No.
time I hit. Just barely.
Plus 20? Oh.
Oh, plus 20. I know I missed. Sorry.
No.
I was thinking plus 30.
Uh,
I missed. Alright.
His blade stabbed your stake both times. Normal stake would probably broke, but this one has been blessed to combat the undead. So there are only a few chips made by this white, strange, exotic blade. And finally, we have Vincent,
All right.
the Knight of Moor.
May Moore's gate be open to your soul. And then I'm going to attack.
And you failed.
No, plus 30.
No, you made
right?
it. Plus
Oh
30,
yeah,
you
you
made it.
made it. All right, sorry. What weapon do you have? X, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to ask him some questions.
Yeah, you've asked him a question right in the head. It was an
I think you should
accident.
lose XP for that. That's
That's so
I should get
bad.
a fate. I should get a fate point for that. That was amazing.
Yes.
Knife
All
to
right.
reach you.
I made my own body spray. I call it Ask.
Actually,
All right.
you've actually your blow. Normally, it will probably split his skull, but it slid off his helmet.
All right, I got one more coming at him.
Yeah, plus 20%.
Nice.
And yeah, it managed to strike. Roll for damage.
Another 12.
Alright, you've reversed the grip on your blade, smashed it right into his ribcage, broke the bones, broke the metal, broke his spine. The fire, the cold bluish fire in Baumer's eyes extinguished instantly, and for a split second you thought that you saw relief in those empty pits. And he simply fell into a puddle of bones and metal. The exotic-looking blade made from ivory, steel, and bone clattered to the ground, and all is silent.
I'm gonna kneel over the pile of bones and mumble a final prayer to Moore and send his soul on his way.
You also know that in order for his soul to really go to Moore's afterlife, you will need to bring a priest of him. Or, well, who knows, maybe a priest of Sigmar will suffice, but it would probably be better if a priest of Moore would consecrate his remains.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
There are still 3 tunnels leading from this room.
At this point, one of us should pocket evidence of the necromancy.
And that
Bring
sword.
back. I ain't touching that sword.
The sword is beautiful, but at the same time very disturbing. Just like Baumer, it has been. It's a strange, like I said, strange fusion of bone and metal.
Yeah, are there any books or anything on the shelves down here that are like clearly
not in this room? But like I said, there are 3 tunnels.
Okay. Is there anything in the room that is clearly evidence of
No.
necromancy, other than obviously the pile of bones?
No, I mean, you know, even
the sword might actually.
Again, not touching the sword.
Even the slab and the tools of a chirurgeon are, you know, they can hardly be called
Right.
evidence. I mean, they're just
Okay.
chirurgeon's tools.
Okay.
Mhm.
Unless we can wrap this up in a few minutes, I probably do need to go now.
Yeah, we can. That's why I'm asking you to make a quick declarations. Like I said, quick declarations. If you want to check the 3 tunnels, if you want to go back, if you want to stay.
I think we do need to check the 3 tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I.
At least a little bit. You know, we don't necessarily need like if they go off and we can tell they're into Skaven tunnels at that point or something, we can turn around. But
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just need to bind my horrible shoulder wound.
Actually, your horrible shoulder wound is not bleeding. It pains a lot, and you can feel the agony, but you see that it's been cauterized by the cold.
Ah.
But it's
Okay.
still there. It still pains you a lot.
I'm guessing then that's something that the heal skill wouldn't do anything for.
Well, you don't know that, but you can always ask Daubler. Anyway,
I'm gonna give Leopold a healing salve.
Leopold is on. From what I understood, he's on heavily wounded, right? How many HPs do you have, Leopold?
I have 3 left out of 14 total.
So I think that's still heavily wounded. We can do the healing stuff next time because we are basically
That's
just
fine.
ending this. You guys are checking the tunnels.
Yes.
There are 3 of them. The first tunnel, or rather corridor, heads steeply up, ending at a small wrought iron door. Behind it, you can smell the stink of a sewer, and you can even hear the splash of water, the slosh of water under Talabheim's streets. The second one appears to be further dwarf work. It's very well made, and it leads off in what you presume to be a westerly direction towards the Tal Bastion. Those of you who have follow trail test, please make one now. So I presume our Talabheim should probably make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
I think you've tested for it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got navigation. I don't see a follow trail.
Follow trail would be in it. it would be in your advanced section. You would have had to write it in. It's just your intelligence score.
Yeah, I
What's your
got
characteristic?
navigation, but not follow trail.
Test navigation then.
Yeah.
We can substitute that.
Great, nice.
All right. You notice that a fairly large number of barefoot individuals and at least one creature walking on hands took that tunnel within the last day.
Okay.
But it is the final tunnel that is most interesting and most disturbing to you. It goes a short way, a very short way, before opening onto a large cavern. A cavern filled with grey slate slabs loaded with corpses, as well as several piles of various body parts, a few of which have been animated in some horrid fashion and twitch feebly in the light. First of all, each of you test plus 20% willpower. No.
Oh! First time fail.
Insanity point for you, Sean.
Of course.
Andrew passed.
I
Jason
passed with 20.
Yeah, and Brian passed. Sean,
How many?
You have any more luck points? You can also always spend one and reroll the test.
Okay. I'll try to spend one because I already have 2 insanity points. I'd prefer not to have a third right now.
Good idea.
So I'll spend a luck point and blah, 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 reroll. There we are.
Great.
All right, that's better.
Yeah. So you are at this point you are pretty accustomed to the horrible sights in your life. However, this one really is something. But there's also a good side here, because on one slab you see Gennaro.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. on one slab lies Gennaro, dressed only in loincloth. And as you entered the cavern, he stares and asks, "What the Waffenkula?" He's been clearly mangled before. You see that there are many wounds upon his body. You don't know how bad, but at the same time, even from here, in the light of your lanterns, you can see that he is breathing.
He's alive.
Who's the... And with that, we shall end.
That's a cliffhanger.
Sweet.
Yeah, because I think you forgot about that, but Gennaro has luck points. I mean, sorry, fate points.
Yeah.
He simply spent one when he fell off into the Sea of Skaven. Alright, guys, next time we are starting chapter 5. There are only 3 chapters left of this campaign. Actually, I was thinking that we are going to start chapter 5 today, but it's going. I mean, it's even better that we are going to do this next time. Yeah, it will definitely be a very interesting one. So for this game, everyone gets 70 points. Now everyone gets for their characters 10 points. For religion, for not religion, but your place of birth. Brian.
I said something. I made a toast at dinner.
Okay, 5 points for that little tidbit. Andrew.
When I was talking to the guards, trying to get the direction to the house, I threw in a couple of kind of rural expressions and kind of made fun of foreign people. But
all right,
that would be it.
5 points, Jason.
I don't think I really have anything. I think the only thing that birthplace was mentioned was suggesting that Lucas be the guide, since me and Leopold both look like foreigners.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, same here. I think that was the only time Wisson Land was mentioned in the whole thing, and it was just like we're out of towners.
So, religion, Brian. I'll give you 10 points for the really cool quote about Esmeralda. Andrew, Tal. Was there Tal today?
Not really. I mean, I think I muttered a prayer to him or something, but that's not really.
Right. So if there was a prayer, I can give you 5 points for that. Jason.
Just the saluting of Moore and the reverence
Well,
there.
Yeah, you and Sean basically did some religious stuff today. You went to temples, you spoke with priests, so 10 points for each of you.
Yep.
Star signs, Brian.
Righteous, fearless, merciful. I charged in like a champ.
Yeah, 10 points. That was nice. Andrew.
Hold on, let me flip over to that sheet.
Shit.
Sensible, intuitive, and lucky.
10 points. You were actually very sensible with the whole, let's call priests and so on. And you were given advice about, for example, how to deal with Skell. I really like that. You were like the voice of reason in the team. Which is kind of ironic since you are basically, a redneck from woods, from the woods. Yeah.
Yeah, but living in the woods teaches you how not to die.
Of course. That's that's why I love it so much. It's like this rural knowledge. Jason, what about you and your star sign?
It's Gungren's Baldric, Profession of Arms, Marshall. I think starting off kind of instead of wandering off, returning from the patrol, kind of declaring that, well, we need to report back before we do anything. And then I guess the battle with the undead guy, I did some damage there.
I can give you 5 points for that. Sean, what about you?
Cacklefax the cockerel.
Yeah,
Being cheap.
Yeah, 10
I was
points.
trying-
10 points because the kids and I'm not paying.
But also I was like, we paid a penny. We can't just not show up.
Exactly. That's why I love it so much. Okay. So now doom and gloom, Brian.
The blind maiden shall weigh thy soul. I was trying to go for that with the brooding rooftop drinking and the
10
helping
points. Yeah.
cobbler.
Yeah. Andrew.
The sword shall bring no justice, only suffering.
10 points. I'm not touching that sword. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Well, I was also going to say that had I been, Vincent or Leopold, I might have revised that to the bureaucrat brings no justice, only suffering.
Yeah, the bureaucrat was cool. Jason, Doom.
I don't think I have anything. The tiniest of Tal's children will feast upon thy gut.
Yeah.
I missed my opportunity.
Sean, what about your Doom?
The hourglass shatters before the last grain falls. I made some comment about it, but it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
I just wanted to smash the bureaucrat, but that's.
Yeah, well, he was an
He
was an hourglass.
Yeah.
All right, Sally, you are getting 5 points for Halfling. Who thought about the idea to go to the Priest of Sigmar before you went to Skell's house?
I mean, I think that was kind of a collective.
So all of you received 5 points because you received the stakes, which helped you in combat, and you still have them. Were there any other ideas that actually helped you progress the game? No, the bureaucrat does not count. Neither are the kids.
Maybe using the Araby outfit to gain information.
In all honesty, for something like that, they should probably arrest you because you were just you were standing in Arabic clothes in the winter, and I mean, Sally's also a halfling, so I decided that this guy was just too dumbstruck to do anything other than okay, she's there. I'm going now because you are clearly dangerous lunatics, and even though I have 4 armed men with me, I don't think I want to try my chances with you.
Yeah.
But yes, that was a bit of a stretch. But it was cool, don't get me wrong. But
I actually had disguise. I didn't test for it, but
yeah.
it's a skill.
By the way, Sally, I actually forgot that during the combat. Whatever. You are still having cold. Just remember that.
Oh yeah. Would it have affected any of my rolls?
I think a
Not
couple. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just remember. I'll remember about this during our next game. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's it for the
I've-
points. We are starting chapter 5. We are getting really close to the end, I think. Now it's going to get really interesting. So, of course, my obvious question is: Are we playing on 15th?
Let me check my calendar real quick.
Because I won't be available on the 22nd. I will be away with my girlfriend in a different city.
Yeah, I'm available the 15th, but the next couple of weekends are all iffy for me.
Couple? What do you mean couple? Like
The last 2 in October and then the 1st in November are all kind of iffy.
Okay, so
But
okay,
15th works.
we'll work something out. I mean, ideally, I would like to, of course, play with all of you, but
Yeah.
Well,
Would-
I'll have a better idea by the 15th.
Okay. Like I said, we are trying. We are always trying to work something out. So no
Would
worries.
is next weekend too early?
Yeah,
For everybody?
I can't do every week.
I would probably also like to take next weekend off because I usually don't have. I very seldom have like 3 weekends only for myself. Like I mean, one day just for myself, and I need that.
Yeah.
So yeah, next weekend is also off for me. But 15th is okay.
Yeah, 15th is fine.
Yeah, and I've already posted the notes.
Okay, Brian,
sweet.
Jason, you are cool with 15th?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So we are going to play on 15th, standard time. Think about spending your experience points. And guys, I mean, it's still like we are probably going to end this campaign like next year, I guess. Early next year. But
Okay.
I would already like for you to like think, maybe I don't know, talk between yourselves or on our fan page. If after that you want, well, I hope that you want to like, to play just, but if you want like short scenarios or if you want another campaign.
Okay. Yeah, we'll think about it.
I'm asking simply because if you want another campaign, I was actually speaking to Brian about it. Then it could be the 1,000 Fronts, which I'm actually going to run for my like real life group, so to speak. And because of that, it would probably help me save some time. And also, I love the 1,000 Fronts; it's my favorite campaign of all time. But if you want single scenarios, then I'm of course cool with that as well. Just start thinking about it. No pressure. And I'll see you all on 15th.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the
Okay.
game. As
All right.
usual, it was great. See you around.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good. All
Bye.
right, later, guys.